All right, guys. So today we have the PPI inflation data. We have the FOMC rate hike decision this evening. Market's gapping up a little bit today at 437s, pushing towards 440s. Really, pretty strong move. We got Apple, Tesla here. I haven't drinking my coffee yet, but I will in a second. Tesla gapping up some too. So this is what we got today. Mostly gap ups, small gap ups, not like crazy big gap ups or anything like that, but small gap ups. Again, we're going to do a poll here. PPI inflation data come in higher or lower than expected? Higher, lower. And then we're going to do as expected as another option. The as expected numbers today for PPI inflation data are for minus 0.1% is what they're expecting today. Minus 0.1%. Let me hit my coffee here. Oh, man. All right. We're up. I'm going to share the music I got going on. And let me know if you can hear the music. Thank you, Mark. What's up, Leslie, Alexis, TF, Jalen, DS, Warrior. FOMC's at 2 p.m. today. We'll stream it all live like we always do. Y'all should be able to hear the music, right? PPI's at 8:30. We're gonna put a timer up. Here's the timer. So this is when PPI starts. Y'all can hear the music, right? All right, guys. So let me know if you can hear the music. You should be able to. You should be able to hit the music. And again, expectations for PPI data are for, again, minus 0.1%. Minus 0.1%. So they think inflation is going down they think it's going down 0.1%. We have core PPI expected at a 0.2% gain. So not bad. We'll see if we continue that. All right, guys. So yeah, let me see. Okay. Enable editing. See if it lets me mark something. It should. Text. Editor. Draw. There we go. All right. Let me put my words on here. Text. Yeah, guys. So again, the market's gapping up again today, man. This is a big day, though. This is a really big day. All right, let me insert a text box here. Some text box. All right, so we got this one done. And again, SPY bounced it up a little bit today. Again, let me look at the poll number. We're also going to do a YouTube poll here as well, of course. 40% think we're going to come in lower than expected for PPI. 27% think we're going to come in higher. 33% think we're going to come in as expected. And it's an interesting thing because, again, we don't really... I mean, we can look at CPI to see kind of what that means and like what all this means. So yeah, like we can kind of see that CPI came in lower than expected. And so if that's the case, then maybe PPI has a chance to come in lower than expected. I don't know. I hope it does. You know, I'm for it coming in lower than expected. I hope it does, but sometimes PPI doesn't have that easy reaction like CPI. CPI comes in lower. It's usually positive. You're usually going to be able to figure it out, you know. So and so I guess the question, like, does the market react good or bad to this stuff? You know what I mean? And again, I don't know if the market reacts positively to PPI data. I really don't know. All right, guys. Oh, crap. All right. I don't want to spill my coffee here. You can see the SPY's pull it back a little bit. I might buy a dip in futures. I don't know yet. I might buy a dip in futures. The NQ has been pretty weak this morning, man. So the NASDAQ's been pulling back heavy, too. All right. All right, guys. So Apple started to test that previous closing price. I'm not jumping into anything till after. So you must mean after the PPI report. Yeah, like I might take some trades now, but I'm not going to hold them. Like again, they're trades that I have to get out before PPI drops. Like I'm not going to be holding these things through. You know what I mean? Like I'm not going to be holding these things. Why didn't Bitcoin pump after CPI? I'm not sure. I really know. Yeah, PPI will always leak early, huh? A lot of tickers outside the upper Bollinger Bands. Here's how I trade the NQ reaction. Hey, what's up, Sam? Yeah. Today will be a big day. It'll be fun, man. These streams are always my favorite days. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a really good way to do it. Look at the cost of fuel. All right. All right, so we bought one contract of the regular E-mini here. I didn't want the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ looks a little off, so we bought the regular E-mini. We got a little bounce here. We're up 25, 40 bucks currently. I want to see if it runs. Nice little bounce back up too. And you can see we're up nicely in this one. Right, so we got a nice little bounce up. We're up 50 bucks. I'm gonna go ahead and take that profit there and just lock that in. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take a I'm gonna go ahead and take that profit, make 50 bucks right there. Pretty easy. Make sure it's the right one. All right, yeah, that's good. All right, done. And yeah, I mean, my stocks are pushing up too. Part of me is like, man, maybe I should buy some more stocks. Make sure this last one is good, and then I will be able to focus more on the stream, guys. But yeah, we got to bounce up here. I might buy a little dip right now too. Apple's still under the previous closing price. That's the only thing I do not like about this one. Only thing I don't like about it. Yeah, the only thing I don't like about it, Apple is such a heavy weighted stock. You know, like Apple's such a heavily weighted stock. I don't like it. Like when I trade blue chips, a lot of the time I'm like watching to see what that one does. Okay, that's good. All right, we should be good to go then. Got some AI sold at 44 yesterday. Whoop, whoop. CCL has really nice run. However, don't they have a great deal of debt? Yeah, I mean, I think it's all based off of sympathy and cruise ships. Like, I think that's what matters the most. My target trade's actually doing really well. So my target trade's back green again, too. So we're up on our target trade now. The question is, do I take profit ahead of PPI? And I don't know. I'm thinking about it. What do you guys think? So I bought Target. It was extended. We bought a couple shares. Part of me is thinking about, taking half of it off and then letting the rest ride. I don't know what to do with this one yet. May was the first month in a while that diesel costs were under $4. Yeah, I mean, inflation obviously went down. All right, guys. So, honestly, today's the biggest day of the market without question. Biggest day of the market without question. You know, sometimes you run out of passwords and you got to kind of hack into your stuff, dude. All right, so Apple's still under the previous all right, guys. Look at SPY still ripping up. So I guess I could have held a little piece of that here. At my old fashioned. Yeah, I don't need to. I know my passwords. I know what my passwords are. I'm not going to mention what they are. They're definitely not, as some would affectionately refer to them as, boomer passwords. But I know what my passwords are. You know. But there's a list of maybe 20 different ones they could be, you know. All right, Apple bouncing back up at 183.40 here. I'm going to look at some market news too. Regardless how PPI comes in today, expect the market to sell the news. The movement, Powell mentions rate pause. The past 3 weeks have it priced in. Yeah, I think that's possible. What's your prediction? I really don't know, man. Looking at our poll numbers, we got 45% saying higher than expected, 30% saying lower than expected, 25% saying as expected here. And again, y'all give me a all right. So this morning, again, PPI inflation data. Expectations of minus 0.1, or no, is it minus 0.2%, right? It is minus 0.1%. Sorry. So expectations of minus 0.1%. We come in higher, lower, or as expected. Join us live now to watch the data release on stream. All right, guys. Again, do we come in higher, lower, or as expected today? I don't know, man. Again, I hope we come in lower. But with this, you don't really ever know. And again, we're going to do this poll here on Twitter. Give your boy a follow on Twitter, guys. We appreciate it. This data comes out in 2 hours. Again, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Today, we will break, without question, 109,000 subscribers. I'd love to break 110,000, 110K subs today, and it's possible we do. All right, done. Also, guys, vote on this tweet. We got our latest tweet out. Vote on this tweet. All right, so the president agreed to slash the IRS funding by $21 billion as part of the debt deal. So Janet Yellen, Treasury Secretary, says they expect a gradual decline in the dollar share of global reserves, but greenback remains dominant. Wall Street's biggest bull called this year's stock market rally. I mean, who else called this big market rally? Does any name come to mind here? You know, when you think of like stock market analysts, handsome YouTubers that might have told you guys that the market wasn't going to crash and that the market was probably going to rip up and that the market was actually a little bit extended on the downside. I wonder who said that, anywhere between like 6 and 8 months ago. Man, let me try to think, dude. I don't know who could have said that, man. In the wake of all the bears yelling at me, y'all know who really said it. Again, market's popping up a little bit. Kramer. HUD ain't mining inks agreement. Both CPI and PPI will continue to fall. I just came back from a Florida trip. Plane wasn't booked. Rental car was empty. I just got back from Florida too. It wasn't like that. Florida was pretty busy. I mean, the beach was actually kind of quiet, believe it or not. Hey, what's up, Hustle, my guy? What's up, dude? Thank you, bro. I love crushing naive bullish dreams. I mean, yeah, it definitely reminds me of somebody in the top 3 for sure. I can't remember who it is. Guys, it was me. I can't be, ambiguous anymore. It was me. I told you guys the market wasn't going to crash. Honestly, Mads, you can call bulls naive, bro, but you were saying the market was going to crash 3 months ago. And where have we gone since then, sir? Again, it's all good, man. It's all love here. It really is. But I was right, and I was absolutely right. I told people this. If you really want to, if you want to know where I really started telling people we didn't have to crash, here's the SPY daily chart. Right? I was telling people here, right after that big dump, when we bounced back up to over 360, I was telling people we didn't have to crash. I was telling them here. And they told me I was a perma bull dummy. basically, is what they call me. They call me a perma bull. They said it over and over again. Oh, this dude's a perma bull. You know, whatever. I told them, whatever, man. Market has since flown back here. Flown back. And some are still holding on to their dreams. I get it. I'm not mad. Listen. Again, I'm not even mad. But I said it. I called it. Everybody knows. And I'll take it. Yeah, we went to Pensacola. On stream, I lied and said I was in Miami because, to be honest, I don't want everybody knowing where I am. Pensacola's kind of small. I don't want people looking for me in Pensacola trying to meet me. You know, just I'm so famous over here, you know. No, I'm just joking. But I'd rather people really not know where I am. I've had some weirdos on stream that have come across as a tad bit unhealthy. You know. Yeah, I can agree we're probably a little bit extended on the upside now. I think we've pushed up too much, but I think we're pushing up because inflation pause likelihood, like the probabilities of a skip or a pause are very high now. Inflation is lower than expected. And I think those are optimistic things regarding the market. What's it going to do from here? Keep rallying or dump? I don't know here, to be honest. Like I really don't know. I think we could be. I think there's an argument for extension. You know. Tesla, man, flying up, dude. Look at Tesla here, man. That's one of the crazy runs right now. Look at it, up to 264s. Over 264s, man. That's a crazy big move, dude. I should have held on to it, too. Just a huge run. But again, Tesla is one of those stocks that it just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I remember on June 19th, Juneteenth, the market closes at noon. At 12 p.m. Central Time. All right, guys. So we are still pushing up a little bit. Look at the SPY, man. SPY up to 437s, almost 438s. Today's going to be the biggest, most volatile day of the market by far, without question. Again, vote on this poll here, guys. Today we got PPI inflation data coming out. Vote on this poll. Tell us what you really feel. There's the link right there. This is TOS. I'm using Thinkorswim. All right, guys. Again, the SPY at 437s here. but short before or after the news. I don't know, man. I don't know what y'all should do here. What's up, Robert? Again, I don't know if you should short it before or after. I really don't know. Do you mostly trade forex pairs or just stocks? We do a little bit of everything, man. I trade stocks, forex, crypto, futures. Is the stock market closed fully? Is it fully closed or is it just a half day? Okay, so they're fully closed here. The market's fully closed on June 19th. Interesting here. Yeah, I mean, that's okay. AI popping up. Nvidia joins the $1 trillion club. That's kind of big news in the market with Apple is now closing in on 3 trillion. Tesla and Meta have both fallen below $1 trillion. We'll see if Nvidia can stay here. Hey, Jason, Alexis, B. So my question is, how do I create a Twitter? All right, guys. So yeah, this is going to be a huge day today, man. I'm super excited. How do I do a Twitter? Where do I do a Twitter? John, do you have any plans to visit Europe or Sicily? I missed this loon. At how many people are here this early? What? Can you make good money as a beginner only trading stocks that are diversified in a good portfolio mid to short term? You can. It's incredibly difficult too if you're a beginner, Franco. Okay, so like let me explain, dude. All right, so the biggest thing you have to understand about like stock trading as a whole is that almost all new traders are going to lose money day trading, right? Day traders lose money, bro. Like that's just the reality of it. The market is sensationalized and predatory. Overall, it's just kind of it's a very difficult thing to make money on. It takes a long time to really learn how to make money in day trading, and most people are going to lose. And then the marketing towards it is even worse. So yeah, it's one of those things where you can, but it's incredibly difficult. The best thing I can tell you is trade small. Don't try like pressure kills profit, dude. All right, trading is about learning how to perform under pressure. Pressure kills profit. So the more pressure you have on you to succeed, like if you're struggling or if you're broke and you don't have any money and you need to make money or you're not going to survive, and you try to trade under that type of situation, you're going to lose so much money. It's going to be so much pressure. You're going to double your size when you shouldn't. You're going to hold your losing trades too long. You're going to cut your winners too short. You're going to be so emotional about it. It's just not going to work. So just trade small. Best advice I can give you. Best advice I can give you. All right, guys. All right, team. I'm playing around with Twitter circles. Has anybody ever messed with that before? I've never done one before. Do they work well? How does those? Yeah. Yeah, it's important that people hear that, man. Like, people need to understand, dude, that like most day traders are gonna lose money, man. Like, it doesn't matter what. Again, I day trade, right? And I think you could get good at day trading, like for sure. But what happens is the same thing that happened to me, and I'm sure I'm going to say this, and a bunch of y'all are going to be like, "Yeah, that was the same thing that happened to me," which is like you get started day trading, you Google day trading, you say, "Hey, day trading," and like, what do you get? You get Tim Sykes, you get Warrior Trading, you see, "Look at me, I just made $40,000 in a day. Buy my trading course, buy my trading mentorship service," and you got to understand there's a huge like interest conflict there, because what happens when you sell a service for that much money is that you really want people to sign up, right? Like, you really want people to sign up for that service. Okay. And so, like, are you going to tell, all your members, "Hey guys, I just lost $1,000 today"? Of course not. You're going to say, "Oh man, I made 30K, guys. Do this, buy this, do this," right? And that clouds the mind of a new trader. They see that and they think they're just going to ride off into the sunset. It's going to be sunshine and rainbows. They're just going to ride off into the sunset, making all this money. And the truth is actually the opposite a lot of the time. Like, most of the time, new traders are going to lose money, right? And so the larger you trade in the beginning, the more money you put up in the beginning of your trading career, the more money you're going to lose. So trade small. Don't take a huge size in the very beginning. Again, my bias is against super big size in trading. Like, trade small. There's no reason to just lose more money, just to give more money to the market to try to look cool in the beginning. But a lot of guys just fall right into that trap, and again, a lot of people are like desperate for validation online. They'll kind of fudge their numbers and trade larger than they really need to. It's just trade small, man. I'm not claiming to be the best, greatest trader of all time. What I am saying is that I've been trading for a long time. Yeah, I mean, you're trading way too large, Franco, dude. No offense, bro. You said I'm 22. I swing trade with only about 1.8 thousand each trade, about $200 to $400. If you mean you're using $200 to $400 in equity in each trade, I think that's fine. Yeah, experience is what helps you level up. How about AI? I think AI is game changing. Yeah, I think newbies lose because they're trying to make too much money. I don't know how many times I hear this, bro. Like, and this was back when I had like a $25,000 account, right? My account was like 25K. I don't know how many people told me that I should be shooting for $1,000 a day in a $30,000 account. Like 3% a day, guys. Like, y'all think I should make 3% daily here? Like, again, what a freaking ridiculous expectation. Again, it truly shows how many people just don't understand. Like, they just don't understand. Like, they think it sounds reasonable. They're like, "Yeah, why don't you do it? Like, do it." And it's like, of course it's not reasonable. If I could make 3% daily every day, I would be the richest person in the world in 5 years. Okay? The reason I'm not, John Bezos over here is because that's freaking impossible to do consistently. So if you try to do that, you're going to destroy your account. Your account's going to be gone within a couple months. Most likely, you might get lucky in the beginning, but regardless, just be careful. Best thing I can say. 1% a day is impossible, bro. 1% a day is not really possible to do so consistently. Jay, 1% a day is not really reasonable to assume. If you take compounding into that, like, look. All right, so let's say you got, what's an easy example? Let's say you got 25K. Now you got $25,000, right? You want to make 1% of that a day. So you make $250 a day in that 25. I didn't need a calculator to show me that. So you make $250 a day, right? So then the next day, you got 25,250. You make 1% of that a day. Now you got 252. Then you got 502.50. So then you got 25,502.50 times 0.01%. You know what I mean? And so eventually this number is going to get larger and larger and larger. So if you make 1% a day, within a couple months, you are going to make so much money doing that. But it's impossible to continue. It's impossible to keep it going. You might make 1% on a very lucky day. Like 1% in any given day is possible. I don't want to make it seem like nobody can make 1% ever in a day. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that you're not going to be able to make it consistently every day. You know, I think maybe like 0.5% to 1% a week is like a very optimistic, a very high target, you know, which is unlikely as well. But it's a little bit more reasonable than 1% daily. Yeah. I mean, it can be done, but you're not going to do it every day. Like you can make 1% on any given day. You know, I've made 1% a day, but I'm not going to do it every day. You know, I'm not going to try to do it every day. If I try to do it every day, I'm going to destroy my account without question. Bro, you ain't using 25K every day. No, but it's not about that. We're talking about making 1% of your account size daily, not 1% of your trades. 1% of your trades is a different story. You know, that's a different story. That's like if I use 5K, you know, you know what I mean? Like that's basically the equivalent of saying like if I use $5,000 in a day, I make, or if I use $500 in a day, I make $5 a day, right? That's different. Okay, we're talking about account size though. I'm looking at the SPY, the Q, Tesla, the dollar index mostly. Ren says what pairs are we using for PPI? And Forex, use US 30. You know, the Dow. You can also watch the Euro US dollar pairs. Yeah, I feel you, Type Jack. It's all good, dude. John Wick. Hey. Yeah, I had somebody tell me I should use John Wick as my nickname like 2 years ago when the AMC craziness happened. And now if you look at John Wick trading, there's like so many different traders that want to be John Wick, and like that's okay. Just remember I was the original, guys. But yeah, markets are bouncing up a little bit. Again, we are slightly green on the day here. SPY broke over the volume weighted average price. The question is, how volatile is the market today is the real question. And again, I don't know. I don't know what the market's going to do today. I don't know how volatile the market is ultimately going to be. All right, guys. So again, I kind of want to buy the dip on the SPY again too. I can't trade it yet. I can trade it in about a minute here, but I think I'm going to more so go with futures instead. We've been trading the E-mini. We already got a little cushion built. I find it easier to hit larger gains once or twice early in the day. Yeah, I feel you. After good CPI, I'm kind of thinking PPI might come in good. But PPI, remember, guys, PPI doesn't have the easiest and most obvious reaction relative to CPI. So, like, again, a lot of the time what you'll see is CPI come in good. And the reaction is very obvious and easy to predict. But whenever PPI comes out, it's just a different story. It's harder to gauge. PPI sometimes will come in lower than expected and look great, and the market will just go crazy, man. So, yeah, just be careful. So, but I guess my point is, like, PPI doesn't have the most obvious reaction sometimes, dude. All right, guys. SPY tried to bounce here a little bit. Market's still looking pretty strong. So market's still looking pretty strong. We'll see if it continues this strength. Gapping up really, really cool, really nicely here. We ended up taking a losing trade just now in the futures market, and that's all right. We can start trading stocks now. Okay, so we're only down about $12 here. Whew. Dude, we just saved ourselves, man. Or no, actually, we did okay. It bounced up pretty fast. So we are only down about 12 bucks. That's all right. That's small enough. Yeah, 1,200% is just highly unlikely. Roblox hit 100. Yeah. But where's the guy that said his friend? Again, these are the type of crazy expectations that people don't understand. Look at Tesla. Rip up, guys. Tesla at 265s right now. Tesla at 265. These are the things that people truly don't understand. They just don't get it. They don't understand. Like, we had a guy come here and say, yo, my friend said Roblox was going to hit 100 yesterday. And this was yesterday. So he was saying it in the future. He was like, yo, he was saying Tuesday, Roblox is going to hit 100. And he's like, what are the odds that happens? And I told him the odds that happens are very, 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 very low. It could happen, but the odds of it actually happening are incredibly low. Why is the NASDAQ down if NASDAQ is killing it? Well, the NASDAQ is not down. Okay, let's look at the NASDAQ here. So if you want to look at the NASDAQ on any trading platform, as long as they support it, look at slash. So /NQ is the NASDAQ. It's what's called the E-mini NASDAQ, right? So here's the NASDAQ today. It's pulling back a little bit, but like you look at a 20-day chart, the NASDAQ has flown up. The NASDAQ is incredibly strong, incredibly strong. Herson, that is called Top Step. It's a sponsor of mine. It's called Top Step. Here's the link if you want to check it out. Yeah, Pawn got you. Okay, Pawn got it. Never mind. But yeah, check out the link that Nightbot posts. But yeah, so here's the NASDAQ over the last 20 days, just wildly strong, wildly strong. So the NASDAQ has flown up dramatically here. And it makes sense why, because NASDAQ is tech heavy. And so, if you look at the NASDAQ back since October of last year, it's had a very good year. Hey, wait, Nightbot didn't post it, did they? Okay, there it is. So there's the Nightbot post, Herson, if you want to check it out, dude. You get 20% off if you use my link. They're a sponsor of mine. I'm biased in their favor, but check them out if you want. But yeah, NASDAQ has been incredibly strong. Incredibly strong. Interesting. Votes on Twitter are completely split down the middle. If you want to help that stop being split, 33% think higher, 33% think lower, and 33% think as expected here. Let me know what you guys think. But look at the NASDAQ rip. Again, we can also look at Tesla here. I think Tesla's important to watch too. Tesla with a big rip up to 265, hit the high of 264.80s, and then dipped all the way back down here. Here's the NASDAQ on the right. And so there might be some apprehension today because the market is expecting a lot of economic releases. I do like kind of this Tesla dip here, so I might buy a little bit of Tesla right now. Not 25 full shares, maybe like 15 shares. We could try to get in on a little slight pullback. All right, so we're filled. 15 shares of Tesla. We're right at the volume weighted average price, and we did have a pretty quick and sudden pullback here. The only argument on the other side of this trade is that, like, they could say Tesla is extended on the upside, but I think over the VWAP, over the 200 EMA, I think it's justifiable. I could add a little bit more. All right, we are in 30 shares of Tesla now. 30 shares. We'll see if we get a little pop. 30 shares of Tesla here. Again, my TOS account's about 50K, give or take. The right corner is NASDAQ. All right, so we did get a little dip. I'm going to add a little bit more. We got 45 shares. I might get a full 50 here. As long as we don't like reject at the VWAP, there's 50. Again, as long as we don't like reject here at the volume weighted average price, I'll stay in it. If we reject here, I'll start to cut it. I want to give it time to bounce. We're over the 200 EMA. There's the pop back. All right, so we got 50 shares of Tesla here. You got allergies or are you sick? Neither. I've got acid reflux. So like whenever I have acid reflux, my nose gets stopped up. It's weird. It usually only happens during the summer. It happens at one part of the year. I don't know what it is. Could be allergies, I guess. I don't know. Fed talk might freak out the market. Oh, absolutely, man. Again, what's going to matter more so, and again, I'll give you some breakdowns into what we got. Man, I'm drinking coffee quickly, dude. I am out of coffee already this morning. I'll give you a breakdown on what ultimately the big part of today is, okay? So like today, we've got PPI this morning. PPI is big, right? But the rate hike decision later is going to be bigger. So today, we've got PPI at 8:30. It's inflation data. So it's the inflation data release. It comes out at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. It's going to influence the market heavily. But the rate hike decision is going to be what everybody has all their eyes on. So everybody's going to be watching the rate hike decision. The rate hike decision is almost certainly going to be a pause or what's called a skip. The probability of that is very, very high for a pause or skip. I doubt we're going to raise rates, even though I think we might need to raise rates. But I think the inflation data showing better than expected over the last couple months has caused, the probability of a pause or skip to go very high up. So it's most likely that they're going to announce a skip, and that data drops at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So the data comes out at 2 p.m. And then at 2:30, we do the accompanying press conference with Big Papa Jerome Powell. And then that's going to move markets more than anything else, because what Powell is going to talk about is how he views the market, what we might do for the next Fed decision in the next 6-week period. And that will influence the market heavily. So what's going to matter more than anything else today is Powell's comments when he gets interviewed at 2:30, when he does his speech at 2:30. That's going to mean more than anything else. All right, so Tesla's starting to dip down again. We crack under the VWAP. We reject here. I'm just going to cut this. All right, quick little retracement back up. That's nice. I like that. Again, we're in 50 shares of Tesla. We bought the big dip. AMD breaking highs again. Pulled back pretty heavily yesterday. But the market's liking everything today. Again, strong pre-market session for AMD. The timer in the corner? You mean the top left corner, bro? Or what corner? If you're talking about this thing at the top left, it's a timer for when PPI data comes out. PPI comes out at 8:30. This thing's counting down until 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, Jerome can move markets heavily for sure. We don't know if he will. We'll see, but he could. Again, SPY still trying to hold. How much time is left for PPI, bro? The time might be in the title. It also might be scrolling at the bottom of the screen. It might also be a timer countdown in the top left. Brother, could be, might be. Hey, what's up, Layla? What indicates bullish for the US dollar? Bullish for US dollar would be bearish for stocks. because the dollar and the market are negatively correlated with each other. So usually, and so if the market pushes up, the dollar index will probably go down. And so the question you have to ask yourself in that situation is, what will make the market push up? Lesser inflation data will probably make the market push up. So like CPI or PPI is expected to show up at minus 0.1% today. So if inflation data comes in at minus 0.5%, that's much less inflation than originally expected, and that would arguably cause the market to go up and cause the dollar index to go down. And you could use an inverse of that to figure out whether you think the dollar index is going to go up. And so if inflation data comes in at a positive number instead of negative 0.1 like they're expecting for PPI, if we show up at 0.2 or 0.3 or 0.4, that's obviously going to be a little bit more negative because it means higher pricing. And so if we have higher pricing, what happens to the dollar? The dollar will probably push up. And so the more positive or the higher the PPI inflation data is today, the higher the dollar index will go, and vice versa is how you have to look at it. CPI is much more impactful over markets, but PPI is still important. It's still relevant. It'll still probably move. Oh, you're talking about the heart button here. I don't know what that is, man. I don't see it. I don't know. Somebody click it. Tell me what happens. All right, so Tesla back up there. We're probably green now. You have 2.1 thousand videos. Yeah, they're mostly live streams. We've been live streaming for years. And so that's why we have so many videos published, because they're almost all live streams. I'm probably going to start deleting some of my old streams, but yeah. All right, guys, Tesla green. Nice little surge here. Let's see if it continues. I like it. NASDAQ starting to pop up. What if PPI is bullish for the US dollar? Then FOMC is bearish. Will the market follow who? Well, the bigger thing will be FOMC probably. So like FOMC will be a heavier influence over everything than PPI today, most likely, but we don't know for sure. So like if Big Papa comes out really bearish, really hawkish, really like, hey, we're going to raise rates aggressively the next cycle, then the market will react to that. All right, nice. So we're nicely green here. I think I'm going to let this ride, though. We're in 50 shares of Tesla. Yeah, you're probably right, Lucid. The Fed has knocked down inflation to 4%, so I think they will pause today. Well, yeah, almost everybody. A pause is very likely today. If you look at one of the websites, I'll put it up in chat, but one of the websites you can use for this, guys, is called the CME Fed Watch tool. It gives you the probabilities of rate hikes, right? So it'll give you the probability. So right now, the probability of a rate hike is only about 4.7% today, about 4.7% likelihood of a rate hike, which means the probability of a pause or skip today is over 95%. Over 95%. I don't know. I just added it. Any Microsoft computer could do it, Barry. You just got to search timer in your search bar. Yes, Tesla is up. We haven't taken profit on it yet. I want to give it time to hold. If we can hold the VWAP, great. And if the gains I would make on it are small right now, and I want to see if we can get a little bit higher up in there in the intraday range. So I'd love to see it get a little bit higher up here and hold the volume weighted average price. I think a lot of people might be buying pullbacks here too. So let's see if we can keep it up. NASDAQ still trying. Apple holding over the previous closing price here. AMD looking good. Would pause not already be priced in? Yeah, I think a pause already priced in. So a pause is probably priced in. Now the question is, again, it's not, okay. Generally, everybody already knows what the decision is going to be heading into the rate hike decision, right? So like heading into the FOMC decision today at 2 p.m., everybody kind of knows that we're going to pause or skip. It's highly probable. Now, anything could happen. I mean, we could raise rates today, but it's just less likely. It's not super likely. And so in that regard, the market's already priced that in to a certain extent. But what's going to matter more so than any of that stuff? Again, what's going to matter more than any of that stuff is what Jerome Powell says during the actual press conference at 2:30. And so again, at 2 p.m., they announced the rate hike decision. We're going to stream the whole thing live. So if you hit the notification bell, the subscribe button, again, you'll get an alert when we go live today. We will stream it. We'll start early. We'll stream the full thing live right here. And you'll be able to watch everything. We'll detail exactly what's going on, what happens, what the Fed chose to do. We'll interpret everything. We'll cover and stream the entire rate hike decision. You'll be able to listen and watch all of it right here on Beginner Trading. But again, at 2 p.m., they're going to do the rate hike decision. And then at 2:30, they're going to do the accompanying press conference where Powell does his speech about where he thinks inflation and the economy is. That's going to move markets more than anything else. And so, yeah. All right, guys, we still got about a minute and an hour and 15 minutes here. Still got about an hour and 15 minutes. Tesla dipping down a little bit with my 50 shares here. All right, guys. Again, PPI inflation data coming out today. All right, so again, I'm going to let this work a little bit. All right, guys. So again, we're pausing, we're holding here. We'll see if we actually do anything right now. Again, I'm going to mute the music for a second. All right, guys. So we're holding right at the volume weighted average price. All right, guys. So again, we got some time until the actual decision here. We still got over an hour. AMD still pushing up, still popping up. Hey, what's up, Beach? What is PPI so important to affect the markets? Yeah, it's gonna affect the markets. Hey, what's up? What's up, Douglas? What's up, dude? Gold will do what is expected. Yeah. Most hedge divot this year, VIX calls. Yeah. If the pause is already priced, then imagine in casing he increases rates. Yeah, the market will dump fast if he announces a rate hike, which is unlikely. They're not going to want to surprise people here because a surprise is bad. You know, the surprise is bad. They don't want to surprise people here. They want to come in as expected. Yeah, I'm noticing the summer months are a little bit slower here, and that's all right. Looking at the channel history, this is kind of right on par with last summer, where it's like summer months slow. I guess people are just on vacation, paying less attention to market data. The big part of the market is all right, so we're probably going to cut Tesla here. I don't want to hold this through everything. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and cut this. I don't want to get stuck in Tesla here, so I would prefer to cut this and just move on. It's all good. Tesla just dipped a little bit too much. I could have taken a little bit of profit at 264, but again, we're not going to win on everything, man. Yesterday we had a green day. You know, like we're doing all right. We're green on the year in Thinkorswim, so we're still nicely green on the year in TOS. And so yeah, we're just kind of chilling. All right, guys. Bro, you know what we watched the other day, dude? Tell me if y'all watched this. The Curious Case of, what was it called, man? Natalia Grace. Bro, what a crazy documentary, dude. I don't know who to believe in that situation, dude. I don't know who to believe. I honestly understand both sides except for the mom, because the mom was just freaking crazy, dude. But man, if you haven't seen that, I don't know if it's on Netflix or where it's on, but dude, what a crazy documentary, man. It really is crazy. How do you sell fast pre-market on TOS? You use a limit order and you set the time for EXT. So you set an EXT order and a limit order and you get out. You can't use a market order and pre-market. You have to change it to EXT. Yeah, for sure. Beach 100%, dude. Why is managed healthcare sector all badly negative this morning? I'm not sure. It's called The Curious Case of Natalia Grace. It's on ID, man. Honestly, dude. It was honestly, just watching it was a freaking emotional roller coaster. Because at first you side with her. Then you side with the parents a little bit. Then you side with her neighbors. Then you side with her again. And so the whole thing is just kind of crazy. But if you haven't seen it, if you like mysteries, watch it, dude. Super interesting. All right, so we did get a little dip here. Yeah, it's all good, man. I'm not mad about anything, Soul. We're going to be wrong sometimes. And again, like I said, green on the year. We were green yesterday. We made much more than we just lost yesterday. And honestly, we're only down today, like, what, $12? Yeah, $13 today. So we're all good. We're green on Target. We're green on Coca-Cola. We're green on gold today. So, all right, guys. Hey, we got about an hour and 10 minutes until the data comes out. It's called The Curious Case of Natalia Grace. Super interesting. All right, guys. So again, Tesla bouncing back up at the 200 EMA level. All right, so we're back up to 263s here. The NASDAQ, again, if you look at the NASDAQ, holding at the volume weighted average price. I don't know if the NASDAQ holds the VWAP very well, but hey. Yeah, guys. So Oracle, man, where's Oracle right now? Oracle did dip down a lot, man. Oracle basically filled its whole gap yesterday too. Look at the SPY. SPY back over the volume weighted average price here. So the SPY is back over VWAP. All right, guys. And again, my TGT trade's doing all right. So we're actually green on that. All right, so inflation down yesterday. Fed Reserve releases interest rates at 2:30 press conference. Again, CPI went down, was lower than expected at 4% yesterday. So again, I think the argument is, does the Fed raise rates today? I think what will happen, man. Look at Tesla all the way back up. Could have held it, I guess. But I think again, I think some other people mentioned in here, but dude, if the Fed chooses not to pause and chooses instead to raise rates today, that's going to cause some chaos in markets. That's going to make the markets dumpity dump, and it's going to be sketchy, man. The whole market's going to be wildly influenced by that. And again, let me know what you guys think is going to happen. If we look at our poll numbers here, you look at our poll numbers here, again, 42% think we're going to come in higher than expected on Twitter. If we look at our YouTube poll numbers, 38% think they're going to come in higher than expected on YouTube at about 500 plus votes. Hey, what's up, Chris? Tesla should be down 20% from here. Other manufacturers need to pump. Okay, by the way, I want to thank you for telling me I probably might not want to hold Oracle. I got out at 124, so I made a real nice profit. Hey, good, man. Congrats, dude. It's not really freaking out. Me selling is not a freak out. You should, like me losing $20 is not a freak out. It's just kind of a risk. Again, with risk, sometimes you have to sell and then reevaluate. And so I don't mind losing $20, dude. It's not the end of the world. It's not like I'm freaking out over here because I sold Tesla. It's just like one of the reasons I sold it here. And it's easy to tell you I told you so in hindsight, but one of the reasons I sold here is because it rejected the VWAP like I said it might. And since that happened, it's just not worth it. Now, maybe we could buy it back, but again, I guess the point is like what I do on TOS works. I'm green on the year. I'm doing it. So I'm just going to keep doing that. What happened with Apple? As a trader, I want to pause. Apple's mostly sideways today. Yesterday, they got downgraded, so they dropped a lot in pre-market yesterday, but they're bouncing back a little bit. Again, today, AMD is kind of the crazy one, man. AMD dipped a lot yesterday, bounced back. As a trader, I want to pause, but for the health of the economy, inflation and prices, the right thing to do is to hike until consumers. Yeah, I think a rate hike is justifiable too, to be honest. So like I think a rate hike is justifiable. So is Lil Pump getting swole? There's so many puns to be had here. So there's a video of Lil Pump in the gym. There's so many puns, man. I can't even do one. I'm sorry. I'm just going to stop myself from doing that. But SPY popping up a little bit. Tesla dipping down a little bit. I could buy the dip again, but I think I'm just going to chill. Wait for something to happen and then maybe play off of what happens instead of trying to get involved with the reason I'm a little bit more hesitant to take trades now is because a lot of the time ahead of economic releases like today and this afternoon, a lot of the time the market's sideways and a little bit less volatile ahead of this. So afterwards, of course, we're going to get big volatility, but ahead of this, a lot of the time the market's kind of chopping sideways. So that's the thing to understand. We do have less than an hour before PPI data comes out, guys. Again, less than an hour before inflationary data comes out. And again, we'll see what happens. All right, again, Tesla bounce it up. We'll see how high it goes here. Apple back over the previous closing price. So Apple just broke back over the previous close. Hey, when is the WSOP main event? Is it now? Like, I know I really wanted to go to it. But... okay, so the main event is scheduled for... oh, man, it's already done, dude. It was a week ago. That sucks. Or maybe it's not. Hold on. When is the main event? Limit Hold'em Championship. Omaha High Low. High Roller. Raz. Limit Omaha Horse. 7 card stud. 2-7. Super Bounty. Pot Limit Omaha. There it is, the main event, No Limit World Championship. So it is July 3rd at 12 o'clock. Bro, y'all are going to make it the freaking day before 4th of July, bro. What the heck, man? Like, why would y'all make it the day before 4th of July? Apple's still popping up a little bit, though, so Apple looks good. But why in the world would they make this the day before the 4th of July? Bro, y'all think people want to go play cards on the 4th of July? You're going to make, like, families miss out? Like, come on now, dude. They got one on July 6th. Hey. What's the best stock for betting against the SPY? Isn't there an inverse one? I know you can do like the SQ, the SQQQ. It's the opposite of the Q. All right, what's up, CP? I forgot I bought 139 shares at 139. Hey, good trade. I put buy orders for Tesla 262. NQ runner. Hey, good luck. Some days it rains and most days it's sunshine. Breakdown of my thoughts on what? Would winning not make up for missing one state holiday? Yeah, I mean, it would. But do you know how many people enter the main event, bro? Thousands and thousands and thousands of people. And so the likelihood of winning is very, very, very low. You know, in fact, the likelihood is actually greater that you'll lose, of course. You know, so like, I'd rather not miss July 4th and lose $10,000. Dollars. It's kind of one of my bucket lists. Like to put it into perspective, guys, to be in the main event at the WSOP is kind of like one of my bucket lists. Like it's something that I want to do in my life. I want to be in the main event. It's something I've watched for years and years, for a decade now. And the entry fee to be in the main event is $10,000. It's $10,000. And I'm finally at a point in my life where I can afford that. And so I was really thinking about doing it this year, but Carol was like, nah, look, and we're going to be kind of busy around that time anyway. And so it's not going to be this year, but next year I'm going to plan it. Two major gaps between 235 and 264 for Tesla. Y'all good. SPXS. Yeah, so XPSS is short. SP. S&P. Cheap too. Yeah, give me top 15. I'm good, bro. Give me, honestly, top 50. Top 50, I'm still gonna like 5x my money. I think I have to look at like what the structure is like, but yeah. There's 7 levels. You get 6,000 or 60,000 chips. Yeah, I don't think they have like what you win. You know, I know if you win the main event, it's like anywhere between 8 and 12 mil. It's about 8 to 12 million. Tesla's still popping up. It's at 264s. Good luck when you do play. Yeah, but if you got kids, you know, everybody's like, oh, 4th of July is boring. But if you got kids, it's different, man. Like, I got kids, dude. I got to kind of visit with them and chill with them, you know? And so if you got kids in a fam, it's hard to say, hey, kids, you know, we're not going to go do fireworks on the 4th. Instead, let me go to this casino real quick and bet $10,000 on a very low probability thing. You know, that's a hard sell for my family, but you know, if it wasn't on the 4th, they'd let me do whatever I wanted. But all right, guys. All right, guys. So the SPY is now dipping down a little bit. We'll see if Tesla follows it. You got the NQ on the right. We'll see what happens in that regard as well. Somebody talked about Adobe Firefly for video. What does that mean? What's the relevance of that? What is huh? Yeah, I don't know what Adobe Firefly is. I don't edit a ton of videos, but hey, I'll have to see. Again, SPY right down to the 200 EMA. We'll see if it holds. Tesla pulling back a little bit now too. I don't mind betting on a potential bounce here, but I don't know. I'll try to be patient with it and hold it out. I don't mind buying the dip here too, to be honest. Let's see if we get a little pop here. Again, Apple is over the previous close. Tesla's starting to look a little bit better. Coke is a better company. Yeah, I mean, we're holding actually KO right now. Is this a big event? Yes. AMD. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be anywhere between 8 and 12%. Yeah, Yashin, I've already acknowledged that comment, man. Again, I told you I wasn't freaking out. You're saying it again, it's just a troll. Do it again, I'll ban you. Sir. But no, yeah, binary options are mostly scams, Ron. And I'll tell you why they're mostly scams. Binary options are mostly scams because, okay, so if you think about what a binary option is, right? You get two, they sell it because they're like, oh, it's easy, guys. Binary options is easy. You know, it's so easy to use. All you got to do is make a bet if you're right on whether a stock or a security or whatever will close over X price. right? If you're right, you win. You know, that they'll sell it as easy. The problem with it is that your risk and reward ratio is consistently less than 1-to-1. And so it's like, if you're right, if you win, you win. If you're wrong, you lose $100. If you win $85. You know, as an example, right? So your risk reward ratio is consistently under 1-to-1, right? Why would you ever choose to do that? Like, why would you ever choose to do that? Again, it's mostly propped up by affiliates, by people plugging it and betting on it. And so you see people make videos on it. You see people do stuff. They're mostly just plugging affiliates and trying to earn affiliate money, promoting binary options, which are just a scam market, guys. They're completely scam markets. Again, if you're new, do not get caught up in them. Again, your risk reward ratio, the easiest way to put it, they're going to tell you it's not a scam. And they'll probably pay you out, but it's a form of gambling, and your risk reward ratio is consistently under 1-to-1. Do not do it. Again, mostly scams. What's the best ratio to enter for a trade? 1,000-to-1, Rita. You know, I mean, I'm obviously being sarcastic here. Okay, I've said this once, I'll say it again. There's a direct correlation between your risk and reward and your accuracy rate, right? You're not going to be able to have, like, you hear some people being like, oh, well, I got a 5-to-1 reward to risk ratio and a 90% accuracy rate. It's like, no, you don't, you know, because they're negatively correlated. Like, the higher your accuracy rate, the lower your risk reward is going to be. The lower your the higher your reward to risk, the lower your accuracy rate is going to be, right? That's just kind of how it goes. Again, if you want a big reward to risk ratio, you want like 3-to-1 or 4-to-1 ratio, you're going to have to hold on to that position longer. And then what's the natural consequence of holding on to that position longer? The natural consequence is that your accuracy rate is going to go down. And so, again, I would say the sweet spot for me personally, if you want to shoot for a high accuracy system, it depends on your system. If you're shooting for high accuracy, understand, like, for me, I have a high accuracy system. I shoot for 1-to-1 ratio. I shoot for a 1-to-1 ratio. So, like, if I'm risking 20 cents, I make 20 cents and vice versa. That's what I try to do. Doesn't mean it's right. It's just what I try to do. A lot of other people are going to shoot for like a 50 or 60% accuracy rate, but their reward to risk is 2-to-1 or 3-to-1. Again, it varies. It depends on the trader. Depends on what you want to do. But there's a correlation there. You're not going to be able to consistently have a 5-to-1 reward to risk at a 90% accuracy rate. It's just not going to happen. And anybody that tells you they have that is just full of crap. They're just kind of telling you what you want to hear to sell you on how good they are most of the time. So understand, that's the reality of it. But what your specific reward to risk ratio should be is a different story. All right, guys. Sorry if you already talked about this. Why do you think gold sold so hard yesterday? I really don't know, man. I don't know why gold did it. Again, I think sometimes gold is used as a hedge. And with the CPI data coming in positive, gold, people are going to have less uses for gold. And so maybe that's why, but I really don't know. Yeah, nobody knows what anything's going to do, Ron. Again, if you're in binary options, they're scammy. You're mostly in a scam market, and you're paying them money. So I'd get out of binary options, bro. Again, you're going to look on, and there's going to be a bunch of affiliates pumping it. And again, they're mostly just scams. Ron, yeah, nobody knows what you should do with your binary option trade, dude. I'm usually wrong and lose almost half, but when I'm right, I get paid big. Yeah, so you have a high reward to risk, low accuracy setup, which is fine. Everybody's different there, but that's what you got there. You got a high accuracy or a low accuracy, high reward to risk setup, which is fine. Those are good. All right, so again, SPY right at the 200 EMA, Tesla finally under VWAP here, NQ trying to pump. See if we hold. Market's acting a little fluctuating, but Tesla surging up to 263.80s here. Tesla back over VWAP here. We'll see if the NASDAQ holds. Again, so PPI expected at minus 0.1%, guys. Minus 0.1%. So we're going to question today. PPI is expected today at minus 0.1%. What do you guys think it shows up as today? What do you think we get today for PPI? Again, minus 0.1% is the expected number. Let me know what you guys think we get. Minus 0.1%. I'm going to go with minus 0.3%. That's what I'm going to go with, minus 0.3. What do you guys think? What's up, Daniel? See, binary options would be a scam, but in my opinion, I do profit in trading. It doesn't matter if you make money or not, dude. You're consistently having less than a 1-to-1 reward to risk ratio. And regardless of whether you profit from it, you would make more in other markets, dude, where you don't have a less than 1-to-1 reward to risk ratio, brother. And so, like, yeah, you might make money. And again, a lot of the time people are just kind of paid shills for binary options. But regardless of whether you make money or not, you would make more money not trading binary options as opposed to doing so. You know, like it's kind of like, and the best example I can give you is you might go to a slot machine and put in 25 cents and make money, right? Does that mean slot machines are consistently profitable? No, of course not. You know, you'll lose money long term if you do slot machines a large majority of the time. You know, so like that's the equivalent of what you're saying. So it's gonna be at 8:30, guys. 8:30. Hey, what's up, Daniel? I don't know. Figure there's a lot of platforms, Ron. But again, binary options aren't it. All right, so SPY is looking back up here. Tesla's still trying to hold over the VWAP here. The NQ still kind of testing it. Apple is actually below the previous closing price at this point in time. What are the bullish predictions for PPI? So the more negative the number is, the more optimistic for PPI. So like the more negative the number, the more optimistic PPI is. So we come in at 0.3 or 0.4. That's probably going to be a positive thing for PPI. But again, nobody knows. All right, guys, let's see if the market continues to pump. It's trying to hold at the 200 EMA. Tesla bouncing, then NQ is popping back up as well. Yeah, PPI very relevant. Rate hike and accompanying press conference very relevant. You know. No, there's no for sure. Like, Ron, you sound really new, man. There's no certain reaction to anything in the stock market ever. So there's never a certain reaction that like is going to happen. Like nobody knows. Like there's never a certain reaction in that regard, bro. And so it's never something that like anything is going to happen or like has to happen. You know. Now we could speculate, but nobody knows exactly for sure if some specific thing is going to happen or not, man. You know. Yeah, what do you guys think NVIDIA does today at the opening bell? I don't know, man. We'll see. But NVIDIA pull it all the way back down under the previous close, under the VWAP here, kind of dragging everything else down with us. 0.1. Yeah, I mean, a positive number will be bad. Remember, positive number will be negative for sure. Again, let me know what number you guys think we're going to get. Market's pretty stagnant ahead of this report. And again, we got the FOMC today. We got the rate hike decision. We got PPI today. Last 3 hours on NQ is lower highs and lower lows. It bounced a few times around yesterday's closing price. So I'd say now is an interesting level to watch. Yeah, I mean, look at the NQ pop right here at the VWAP here. Tesla back over the volume weighted average price as well. The SPY back over the 200 EMA. Yeah, exactly, Chris. There's no certainty in the market. Anytime I hear people tell me there's a certainty, I always, again, one of the things I always say is like, if you come to my stream and you say that you know for sure how the market's going to react to CPI, FOMC, PPI, rate hike decision, press conference, anything, right? If you come in my stream and in the comment section and you act like you for sure know what's going to happen, I immediately look at you sketchy because, of course, nobody knows. And the people that are usually the loudest are the weakest. You know, there's a common saying, the brightest people in the room are the weakest. In trading, I think the loudest people in the comments are usually the worst, you know, because anybody that's truly experienced in the market, right? So like anybody that's actually spent a lot of time trading the market usually understands that there's a huge unknown factor in terms of reactions in markets. So like the point is, nobody freaking knows what's going to happen. Nobody does. And the more people act like they know exactly what's going to happen, the less I trust that they're right. What time frame is the most valid for VWAP? That's a subjective thing, I would say. Nobody knows. It's not that nobody knows. I'm sorry, I'm getting mixed up the previous comment. It's subjective. So like I'm gonna have different preferences for the volume weighted average price. I like intraday, but some people are gonna like longer term. VWAP is not the same always. There's longer term time frames, shorter term time frames, different variations of it for sure. Exactly. The old adage is true. The market can remain irrational longer than you can remain solvent. 100%. Nothing's unstoppable. Yeah, Neo breaking highs at 9:15s. But yeah, nothing's unstoppable, team. The market does it at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Is when everything comes out. So 8:30 Eastern Time. So that is in about 37 minutes or so. 37 minutes. Yeah, I know the market's going to move today. I don't know how much. So my VWAP on TOS, for instance, is -2 daily interpretation. So number deviation down is -2, number deviation up is 2, and the time frame is day. So it's a 24-hour one. All right, market's very flat right now, though, guys. Very flat, very sideways. Not a lot going on. Yeah, exactly, TV. That's all I know, too. I know the market's going to react. I don't know how it's going to react. You know, what happens a lot of the time, guys, is that people like influencers and big traders will try to make these really bold predictions. And so they'll say, yeah, the market's going to rip up from PPI data, or the market's going to crash down for PPI data. And like, if you really think about it, they've got a 50-50 chance of being right? They got a coin flip chance, you know, so they might be right, but it doesn't mean that they were right? You know, like they might have guessed correctly, but it's just a guess. And then they'll use that to try to say, hey, guys, I predicted, you know, the last CPI meeting. I can prove it here. It's just kind of like, well, I guess technically, but, you know, 50% of other people predicted this as well. If you look at the poll number, if you look at our poll number here, 39% think it's going to come in higher, 36% think it's going to come in lower, 26% think it's going to come in as expected here. So, again, we'll see what happens, but understand nobody freaking knows. Yeah, coin flip. Hey, what's up, CT? United Health, what's the symbol? UNH? Yeah. I don't know why it's down big. I can look it up. Let me see what's going on with it. All right, so UNH. The CEO flags elevated volumes of non-urgent surgeries at analyst conference. And so seniors are catching up on delayed surgeries, and that's bad for healthcare insurance providers. And so basically, the UNH CEO basically mentioned that there's elevated volumes of surgeries at analyst conferences. In that regard, it ultimately means that insurance companies are going to have to pay for those surgeries, and that's bad for the margins regarding insurance companies. And that is ultimately what made UNH drop from 490s down to 460s. Pretty large percentage drop there too. But that's why, is because at an analyst conference, he basically mentioned that non-urgent surgery numbers are going up dramatically. So what that means is that insurance providers are going to have to cover those, and that's bad for them. Of course, they're going to have to pay more money. Are you using leverage? I am, but I usually don't need to. I don't know if sometimes it might use leverage, but like for instance, right now, we're pretty flat in most of our stuff. What do you think about? I think BYND is a terrible company that a lot of people were just stuck in it from years ago when it was at 300 or 240s. I think it was incredibly overhyped. I think like you got to really understand it like this. Okay, this is the truth of the matter. Like BYND is a company that you grow your own meat. You grow your own meat, right? You basically farm meat from like calf's blood or something weird like that. And, it came out and everybody was all hyped about it. It was kind of like the Impossible, meat substitutes. And the price of BYND was over $200 a share, and it was really crazily hyped. And then it just started to tank. And the reason it started to tank is because they overestimated their market interest. Like vegans are incredibly health conscious people. They're very strict in regards to what they consume, what they pay for, what they do with their dollars. And so, I just think that they overestimated their interest. I think that like even if you have a meat substitute like Beyond Meat, it is super expensive, and the amount of people that actually want to buy it are very low. Like there's not that many people buying BYND meat. There's just not. And so it's a hard business to succeed. The margins are not good, and basically over the last couple of years, Beyond Meat has just kind of tanked. Just a bad idea, to be honest. Same thing with the Impossible Burger. Like you saw the Impossible Burger doing deals with like Burger King and stuff. It's like, bro, what vegan is going to eat at Burger King? None of them are going to go to Burger King, dude. They're incredible. At least a very small percentage of them will. And so selling Impossible Burgers at Burger King is just a bad idea. Again, vegans are not going to go to Burger King. It doesn't matter. You can sell caviar at Burger King. I mean, I guess caviar is an animal product, but again, it's kind of like selling caviar at McDonald's. Like, yeah, you could do it, but like people aren't going to buy it. Wrong audience. Yeah, we're just going to go ahead and get you out of here, Ron. You're promoting binary options. You have really sketchy English until it's critical, and then all of a sudden your English is good. I don't know. You're just going to get out of here. But yeah, if you look at Beyond Me, that thing just dumped. Again, a lot of people are just stuck in it, I think, So a lot of people are just losing money. It's always on sale at Kroger because no one will buy it. Yeah. I mean, I had Impossible tacos at Disney World, and they were pretty good. I'm not even gonna lie, they were pretty good. But I just wanted to try them, and after I tried them, I never got them again. And they weren't bad, but it's like, to be completely honest, I trust eating regular meat way more than eating Impossible Burgers or Impossible Tacos or Beyond Meat. I trust eating regular meat more. You know why? It's because it's just better for you. Like eating normal meat is going to be better than genetically engineered meat. Like it's just obviously going to, at least the risks are a little bit too high in eating that stuff because it's just been toyed with a little bit too much, I think. Yeah, this is a funny little comment that this guy posted. This is the conversation between Coinbase and the SEC. Coinbase, we gonna IPO. SEC, you're good. SEC, just joking. We're suing you. Coinbase, for what? SEC, I'm not telling you. Coinbase, WTF. SEC, unregistered securities. Coinbase, which ones? SEC, I'm not telling you. Coinbase, then how can you sue us? USA, can you deal with that? SEC, okay, Cardano and stuff. What about ETH? We told you. So is ETH okay? Not telling you, SEC says. Coinbase, why won't you tell us? You're being unclear. SEC, nuh-uh. Coinbase, so is ETH okay? SEC, we told you. Coinbase, yes or no? Can you be clear? SEC, stop being ridiculous. It's as clear as day, you big dumb boo-boo boy. Also, Algo is a dope coin. They said, I swear the SEC is an elaborate skit put on by Monty Python. Honestly, it really kind of is, dude. They're just freaking unreasonable. Like, they're vague. They're intentionally vague and ambiguous. Yeah, a lot of people are saying the argument is that anything besides Bitcoin is a security. As long as they sold tokens to fund their development, they are a security. ETH sold tokens in exchange for Bitcoin, so that makes them a security. I don't know how I feel about that, man. No, I don't, Beauty. I don't have a beginner immediate course for Forex. No, I'm sorry. I appreciate you joining us, though. What time is the rate decision? 2 p.m. Yeah, I mean, with health, it's all about moderation. It really is all about moderation, right? So it's like you can get overconsumption is the problem with health. So it's like everything within reason is okay as long as you don't overdo it. The problem is people overdo it, and I can't even blame them. Like, some of the food nowadays is incredibly addictive. Freaking ice cream is what gets me. Bro, I watch The Office too much for you to get me with the up dog. New sausage for Beyond Meat? Wow. Yeah, I think Powell will probably pause Marvin, but I don't know for sure. Apple finally ripped over the previous closing price. We are in a little bit of the SPY or the S&P, so we are on Top Step Futures right now, day trading the S&P 500. And in the futures market, there's no PDT rules, so you can day trade short futures, no PDT restrictions. Big pullback in everything right now. I don't know why this is going on, but luckily it's just one contract. We're probably gonna have to cut this, but a big dip in everything, including the NASDAQ, including Tesla here. We're still kind of flat, but I don't trust this at all. Bro, yeah, if he does 25 basis points, the market's gonna crash down, dude. All right, I went ahead and cut it. Yeah, I love ice cream. It's kind of my kryptonite, man. I love ice cream. I try not to eat it, but I just can't help myself, dude. All right, guys, Tesla dipping down a little bit here. Yeah, Beyond Meat might be up a little bit now, but... All right, guys. So again, Tesla bouncing up at the 200 AMA. We're basically getting sideways choppiness. So again, if you look at like the market here, we've basically been like this for the last 20 minutes or so. Tesla has been like this even longer. Which is why the people telling me they told me so prematurely is kind of like, all right. Let's see if the market holds. NQ very choppy. You get ahead of these big rate hike decisions. The market's kind of like this. All right, guys. Again, NQ still consolidating. The 200 EMA has been a consistent line of support or resistance, though. All right, guys. So AI is going absolutely ridiculous. In the last 3 days, a new AI AMD chip, Salesforce AI Cloud, where they did a press conference, Chat GPT workspaces, the UK government's data access, AI last Beatles record, 92% of programmers use AI now, Adobe generative recolor, and Google AI search 2 times faster. So AI growing crazy here. Still consolidating pretty quietly here. What's Bitcoin doing today, man? I haven't really looked at it. Here's BTC on the right side. Bitcoin's still at 26K. It's been sitting there for a while. Today will be a very big influential day for it. Here we got 22 minutes until CPI or until PPI data comes out. 22 minutes. Fed numbers come out. So PPI comes out in about 22 minutes, about 20 minutes. The rate hike decision is at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So again, the rate hike decision is 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The press conference is at 2:30 with Big Papa. PPI comes out at 8:30 in about 20 minutes. Yeah, it could be the 8 a.m. drop. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty boring because the market's apprehensive ahead of these reports. Will Tesla in green 14 days in a row? I don't know, man. The time of the Fed meeting is at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Does PPI usually follow CPI? Yes, but the reactions sometimes can be broadly different. So, like, a lot of the time, PPI and CPI numbers are similar in terms of, like, higher or lower than expected. But sometimes PPI can just have weird, unstable reactions. Like, the last time PPI came out, if I remember it correctly, it came out noticeably lower than expected, and PPI dumped, or the market. So, like, PPI made the market drop the last time it came out. We can look. So, the last PPI release, let's go back in time and look here. So, the last PPI release was back in May, around the same time. I think it was May 15th, if I remember correctly. Not 100% sure, but I think it was May 15th. No, it wasn't. So, when was the last? Maybe it was the 16th. No, not the 16th. Let's look at the 17th. Somebody help me out here. Maybe it was earlier. Maybe it was the 12th. Maybe it was the 10th. Let's look at. Let me look at this week. Okay, so CPI came out on Wednesday the 10th. PPI came out on Thursday the 11th. So Thursday the 11th, it came in 0.1% lower than expected for PPI, 0.1% lower than expected. So if we look at, so this was again on May 11th of PPI last time. So May 11th is when PPI came out last time. So it's going to be 511. I'll put a 5-minute chart up here so we can actually watch it. All right, so here is 511. All right, so here's where PPI came out last time. Came out right here. PPI again came out right here. And you can kind of see the reaction that we got from it. So here's 830. 830 is right here. So PPI came out last time here. It came in lower than expected here. And like, look at the market reaction to it. So the market fell pretty drastically from it afterwards. And so again, I've covered PPI and CPI every month for a while now. PPI has one of the more unstable, one of the more less predictable reactions is the best way to put it. So it has one of the least predictable reactions relative to like CPI. CPI, usually you'll get a decently predictable reaction. You know, so like CPI came out lower than expected. All that stuff was good. And, you know, again, the market mostly pushed up yesterday from it. So here's when CPI came out yesterday. Market mostly pushed up. But again, PPI is a little bit less of a predictable reaction. You know, that's just it. But again, let me know what you guys think. Google's your friend, Ibrahim. And so the data comes out at 2 p.m. for the Fed meeting, 2:30 for the Fed meeting, Eastern Standard Time. So Google 2:30 Eastern Standard Time to Indian time, and you'll get the number. There was a guy a long time ago on investing that was shouting it's crashing up, and that's what I'm seeing. Managers are pumping because they need to keep their jobs. The data says this is. Do you know if Canada and Australia have a similar tool? Tool in what regard? Yeah, markets are usually sideways. Yeah, Big Papa today, guys. 2:30. Yeah, I think a pause will happen too. My name is John. And so again, we'll see what we get today, guys. I'm ready here. Team, I'm ready. Again, we'll see what happens. We got 18 minutes. There's 17 minutes now. Again, SPY had a good green day yesterday on better than expected PPI or CPI numbers. Today, expectations are minus 0.1%. Data releases at 8:30. PPI expected at minus 0.1%. Data shows up at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. The Fed funds rate tool. I don't know about Canada or Australia, man. I don't really know, dude. Is it night in your country? No, it's daytime. I'm in Texas. All right, guys. So yeah, we're getting a little bounce back. SPY bouncing back a little bit today. Tesla bouncing back a little bit too. Oh, this is a 5-minute chart. Okay, here's a 1 minute. Tesla moving back. Bitcoin up there at 26. We can look at like the dollar index too. And the dollar index is generally going to have an inverse correlation here with the market. So the inverse correlation. Yeah, thank you, Ibrahim. Yeah, all good, dude. All good, man. Wagyu burger. I think the Fed will pause today. We may see a good news, bad news scenario. Yeah, the probabilities are very high for a pause today. Very high. So like the likelihood of a pause today is very, 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 very high. You know what I mean? So very high. Whether we do or not, we'll see. But the likelihood of a pause is very high today. It's like 95%. I think right now is what they're expecting. So 95% is what they're expecting in terms of pausing. Only about 5% think we're going to actually raise rates. So just not super likely we're going to raise rates. Very certain that we're going to pause, at least in terms of probabilities. It's very high up there that a pause is going to happen. If we don't pause, though, what that ultimately means is that the market will dump. If we don't pause, if we do raise rates, the market will almost certainly just tank. Big drop. So we'll see. It'll be fun. And then again, today we have PPI. So it's just a busy day, man. Today we got PPI. Later we got the FOMC decision and the rate hike decision and the accompanying press conference. Look at the dollar fall here. So what this means in the dollar, when the dollar falls like this means that the market will probably start heading up slowly. So there's usually an inverse correlation with the dollar index in the market. And that's what we're seeing today as well. You see the dollar fall, the market move up. And again, we'll see if that continues. Tesla is still under 200 EMA. We got the SPY here at 437s. 437s. Hey, what's up, Chris? All banks around the world talking about raising rates. Why would the Fed consider not raising rates? Because there's a lot of reasons. Mostly because inflation is going down, man. It's not technically going down, but it's slowing. So inflation's slowing, man. That's what we want to see. Again, as an expected number yesterday, we came in lower than expected. Today, they're expecting PPI inflation to go down. So they're expecting minus 0.1 today. And so almost universally over the last year, inflation has been slowing. And that's good. Like, that's good. Now, if we were consistently getting higher than expected inflation numbers, I think the Fed would be a little bit more likely to raise rates, right? But because inflation is consistently slowing, that means that, you know, there's a balancing act here. The more you raise rates, the more the market tanks, right? And so the Fed doesn't want to raise rates unnecessarily. And they've already been really aggressive over the last year in terms of rate hikes, because again, short term, when you raise rates, the market tanks, right? So short term, when you raise rates, the market generally falls, and vice versa. When you pause, the market usually goes up, and the market's baked into that now. But the point is, inflation is pretty much universally started to slow. And if inflation was consistently coming in worse than expected over the last 6 months, I think the Fed would be more likely to raise today. And I honestly think a raise still might be a better option, but I don't think we're going to. At this point in time, most people are expecting a pause, a skip, whatever you want to call it. So a lot of people, 95% chance of a skip today. Now, a rate hike could happen, but it's just less probable. What will pausing do to the market? I really don't know. I really don't know. Yeah, I mean, probably. No increase is priced in right now, David, in my opinion. We're not going to raise today, I don't think. It's pretty unlikely that we do, at least. Like the likelihood of a raise today is pretty low. In fact, it's much more likely that we're going to pause. And again, every freaking rate hike decision, I get people telling me I'm wrong. Last one, I told everybody that we were going to raise rates 25 basis points, and we had a bunch of people arguing me like, this dude doesn't know what he's talking about. We're gonna pause today, guys. And I was like, no, we're not. But believe what you guys want. And then sure enough, we raised rates 25 basis points as I suggested. Again, today I'm telling you guys that we're probably going to skip. We're probably going to pause. If we don't skip or pause, if we do instead decide to raise rates, the market almost certainly will dump down. You know, so if we do raise rates at all, which will be 25 basis points if we do, the market will fall almost certainly. Now, it's never a 100% certainty, but almost certainly the market will fall if we raise rates today because it's so outside of the expected number. Again, when 95% of analysts expect a pause or skip today, if we decide to surprise people and raise rates, which I think would be a bad move, I think a rate hike might be a better option, but I think with so many people expecting a pause today, I think if we do decide to raise rates, it's going to be really polarized and just dump the market. But again, the probability of that is very low. I think the likelihood that we pause or skip is very high. Again, 95% right now is what we're showing. But again, maybe the numbers today might influence whether we do or not. Like if PPI inflation comes in really high today, really positive today, then maybe it's a little bit more likely, but still low probability. Hope they hike the rate, so it might be easy short. Well, it's definitely not going to be easy. It's going to be a very low probability trade, Gav. It's going to be a very low probability trade. I mean, Amer, interest. So inflation has been slowing. You know, again, I cover all the inflation releases here. So like every major CPI, PPI, rate hike decision, all that stuff, I cover every single one. So I have a very in-depth look at what inflation is and what it looks like. Inflation has been slowing dramatically. It's way better now than it was a year ago, for instance. You can see that reflected in a lot of things, especially gas prices. You know, a year ago, gas prices were like $6 a gallon. Today, in my side of town, they're like $2.80. So we have seen curbs to inflation, like without question. And again, when that happens, the Fed doesn't want to crash the economy. And so when that happens, the Fed's less likely to be aggressive in their rate hikes. Again, it doesn't mean anything. Nothing's 100%. Anything could ultimately happen today, but it's just very likely that we're going to pause or skip. And I will cover that live. If you guys want to watch it, hit the notification bell, hit the subscribe button. We stream all this stuff live on stream every week. We don't sell a course. We don't sell a service. We don't claim to be experts. We don't act like gurus. We don't charge for content. We're just a resource and community of traders where we don't sell you a course. And so if you want to be a part of that, hit the subscribe button. I appreciate the love and support as always, guys. Again, hit the sub button, hit the notification bell. Yeah, I don't think it'd be a bad move, but I think at this point in time, the expectation is so high for a skip that if they do decide to raise rates now, that's a bad move. You know, if they set a little bit more reasonable of an expectation for a rate hike, I think that would have been the right path to raise rates this cycle. But I think now, because they have basically insinuated, a skip or pause, I think most people are, presuming that we're going to skip or pause today. And I think surprises are bad in terms of rate hikes, right? So I think if we surprise people, that's not good. That's not what we want. We don't want to surprise people. We want come in as expected, And so again, if we announce a rate hike today, that's going to be bad. That's not what we want. That's going to be bad for markets. All right, guys, we got about 8 minutes here. What's the real estate situation in Texas? It's down a lot relative to like 21. But it's still not necessarily bad. Interest rates are high, and so people aren't buying as much. Mortgage brokers are struggling, despite what they say. And so that's kind of what the market looks like right now. Why raise rates when CPI is coming down? Well, it's technically positive, so it's not necessarily coming down, but it's slowing. And so that's kind of what it's doing. Rate decisions at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, James. We're going to stream the whole thing. So remember, subscribe, hit the notification bell. We will stream the entire rate hike decision and press conference. So again, sub if you have it. Yeah, we appreciate it. We are also going to put it in sub-only mode. So everybody announce yourself. Show us you're subbed. So we just threw it in sub-only mode. So everybody show that you're supportive of the channel. The dollar index still dipping down a little bit. We got about 7 minutes left, guys. 7 minutes. Check your mic, please. Mic should be fine. No voice? It's probably just on your end, brother. Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, announce yourself. Show us that you're subscribed. We did throw it in sub-only mode. Y'all good, James? I don't see why we would pump when it's already priced in. We're not really pumping. We're pretty flat today, actually. We're gapping up a little bit, mostly from NVIDIA and other AI stocks rebounding. I appreciate the love, guys. Again, hit that subscribe button. Again, we will hit 109,000 subscribers today, and I truly do appreciate the love, guys, there. So again, we will hit 109,000 subs today. We need about 150 left, but that's going to be easy to hit, to be honest, guys. So we will hit 100,000 subs today. or no, 109,000 subs today. We appreciate that. Let's go for 110 though. I'd love to hit 110 subs this week. We'll see if we can. Again, market is trying here, guys. We got about 5.5 minutes left. Hey, what's up, franchise? Hey, my guys. Hey, thank you, team. Do you think the AI bubble will burst soon? I think there's an argument for extension for NVIDIA and other AI stocks, but I think it's not going to be a burst. I think it's just going to be a slight correction, and then they might continue their run. But again, certainly debatable. Hey, thank you, Sandy. I appreciate it. Thank you. Appreciate the love. Yeah, we're going to try to hit 500,000. We got about 1,200 people here, guys. So, hey, hit that subscribe button. Thank you, Biggie. I appreciate you, man. But yeah. All right, guys. Again, minus 0.1% is what we're expecting for PPI data. Again, if you don't understand what PPI is the other side of the inflationary coin, right? CPI, the consumer price index, it gauges how much prices have gone up or down for consumers. So us, basically, buyers. It's buyer inflation. It's how much prices have gone up or down for buyers, right? PPI is the producer price index. It's how much prices have increased or decreased for producers. And that's what we have today. It's the producer price index. It's the other side of the inflationary token. So that drops. They're expecting PPI inflation to drop by 0.1%. Minus 0.1% is what they're expecting month over month today on the yearly report for PPI. So on the yearly report, they're expecting, let me fix this again. And again, thousands of people tuned into this, guys, because we cover it quick. Like, we cover this fast. And so again, sub if you haven't yet. They're expecting yearly PPI to show up at 2.9%. So they're expecting that to drop down to 2.9%. They're expecting core PPI to show up at 0.2%. So 0.2% for core, minus 0.1% for regular. Yearly 2.9% is what they're expecting here. And the dollar index is starting to bounce up a little bit. The SPY here on the left side is up to 437.50s. Overview up over 200 EMA. Tesla here in the middle. I'm going to switch these. I'm going to put the SPY up in the middle, and then I can put Tesla on the left. Or I'll put the NASDAQ on the left here. So there's the NASDAQ on the left. Again, there's the SPY on the right, or on the middle. And again, here's the Dixie on the very right side. But again, guys, about 3.5 minutes. Again, sub if you haven't yet, we appreciate it. Do these results move markets? Yeah, they do. How much, we don't know, but they'll probably move it at least a little bit. They'll influence markets for sure. Definitely the rate hike decision and press conference today will. What's on the right? That's the dollar index. And so it's supposed to be dropping right now. There's usually an inverse correlation where it's like the dollar drops, the market moves up. And that's kind of what we got. The dollar index dropped over the last hour. So we'll see. But I'm new here, just joined. What's the best explanation for something being priced in? I think the market has been moving up dramatically because of low inflation and a pause potential for the rate hike decision being priced in already. I think that's the best argument. I think that's what the market is showing us. And again, in that regard, I think if we do decide to raise rates, the market might dump down because it's so outside of the expected. It's less than 5% expecting a rate hike this cycle. So again, I think that's bad, but who knows, man? Bears cry? Oh, we'll see. Hey, what's up, Alexis? Oh, I see you liking my post on Twitter. I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, again, I'm not swings are pretty solid. Alexis, my best trades are my swing trades. And so yeah, my best trades are my swings. All right, we got less than 2 minutes, guys. We got about 1,400 people here. 1,400 people. Again, sub if you haven't yet. Hit the notification bell. We appreciate it. It's pretty big. The FOMC meeting will be bigger, but this one's decent size too. All right, guys. I'm ready. Again, minus 0.1% is what they're expecting. Minus 0.1%. And so sub if you haven't yet. We appreciate the love. Are you bullish? I'm not anything. Nobody knows. It's kind of a coin flip in terms of reactions for this. So like nobody knows what kind of reaction we're going to get here. It's kind of a coin flip. All right, guys. A little bit over a minute left. NASDAQ pushing up, SPY pushing up, dollar index falling down, and that's generally good for markets here. Lower is better, generally, yes. Yeah, I find swing trading much easier than everything too. Is PPI as expected? It's not out yet. We still got about a minute left, a little bit less than a minute here. I'm going to turn this off. This timer's just slightly off, so I'm going to turn this off. About 45 seconds. Make sure you hit the live button next to the play button as well, guys. So you want to make sure you hit the live button next to the play button. Yeah, so you want to make sure that your live button looks like this. Okay. You want to make sure your live button looks like this to make sure you're caught up on the stream. Make sure your live button is red. You can click it and it'll bring you caught up to the stream. We got about 30 seconds. All right, guys. Again, I'm not going to be able to answer questions for the next couple seconds because the data is dropping here. We got our sources up. We are ready here. Data's about to come out. Again, PPI data dropping soon. Minus 0.1% is what they're expecting. About 5 seconds left. 5 seconds. And there's the release. Nothing out for PPI yet. Market hasn't moved much. Okay, there's PPI. PPI minus 0.3%. Hey, who told you minus 0.3%? I'm going to have to go back and clip that. Minus 0.3% is what I told you guys I thought it would show up as. I thought it would show up at minus 0.3%. It's about 0.2% better than expected for month-over-month PPI. Minus 0.3% versus minus 0.1% expected. We were absolutely right. On the year for PPI, it came in at 1.1%. 1.1%. Core PPI on the year showed up at 2.8%. So down all the way around. The market seems to like it. The dollar index is breaking down. Again, minus 0.3%. That is exactly what we predicted this morning, was minus 0.3%. We were wrong yesterday about CPI, but again, minus 0.3% is what we showed up as for PPI data. Core is down as well. Core came in at 0.1%. Or no. Core came in at 0.2% versus 0.2% expected. So core came out as expected. Regular PPI came in under expectations at minus 0.3%. Hey, when you're right, you're right. Minus 0.3%, we got it. I will take that. Minus 0.3% versus minus 0.1% expected. Last time we came in at positive 0.2%, so lower than last time, better than expected, and actually negative here. Core PPI came in as expected at 0.2%. Here is that release here. So again, minus 0.3%. Hey, we were right. The market's moving up. The dollar index is moving down. Hey, we did call it. Minus 0.3%. Dollar index falling, market's moving up. Looks good. Man, maybe I should have stayed in my swings overall, but hey, it's all good. Gold going up a little bit too. My target trade's still doing pretty well. But again, minus 0.3%, guys. Minus 0.3%. I will take it, team. I will take that. Again, we'll see if we continue. Again, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell. We appreciate it. Also, guys, check out our sponsors. Check out TopStep. TopStep is a funded program for futures. The easiest way to trade this economic release here, the easiest way to trade this economic data is to day trade the futures market. There's no PDT rule. This is where most pro traders actually day trade. Is the futures market, because there is no PDT rule. You can day trade and short without restriction, without red tape. And aside from that, it's very similar to trading stocks, but you could day trade the NASDAQ, you could day trade the SPY, and what's called the S&P 500. You can day trade currencies, you can day trade the Dow, you can day trade gold and silver, and there's no PDT rule. And TopStep is a funded program. They give you a demo, they test your skill. If you can hit the target on their demo, the base one, they'll give you a 50K demo. It's very cheap. It's less than $140 a month if you use my link, and they test your skill. And so if you can hit 3,000 in profit on that 50K demo they give you without losing over 2,000 and following the rest of their rules, then they fund you 50 grand with a 90% split. And so if you get funded and you make 20K, you keep 18 of that. They pay out millions. They're the most legit one in the world. They actually process withdrawals. They pay out millions every year in actual withdrawals. They fund thousands of traders a year. Great way to help support the channel. And again, if you want to check them out, I'll post this link here. Market's starting to bounce back up over the volume weighted average price. But yeah, if you want to check them out, there's the link. Oh, I think Pawn got it. Here, let me delete that last one then. But yeah, check out the Nightbot post right there. Market's sideways mostly here. And again, I think this was already expected. I think this was already baked in a little bit. Again, I told people before this announcement that I think lower inflation was already baked in to a certain extent. And I think that's probably pretty true. Again, I think most people were expecting, once CPI came out lower than expected, I think most people thought PPI would come in lower as well. And that's kind of what we got. All right, we're starting to pop back up a little bit too. over VWAP right now. Over VWAP. We'll see if we actually hold. But again, we got consolidation here. Like if anything, we kind of have a little symmetrical triangle pattern right here. Is what this looks like to me. But again, so we'll wait. We're over the 200 EMA. We are over the volume weighted average price, which is nice. We will take that. And yeah, we'll see if it actually holds it and see if this works here. Again, market's a little volatile right now. Let's see if this data holds here, guys. Again, PPI came in lower than expected. Again, I called it today too. I'm gonna have to go find that clip. But again, people asked me make a prediction. I said I was gonna go with minus 0.3%, minus 0.3%. And the reason I did that is because I was doing it a little bit higher than I was doing it a little bit higher than CPI, a little bit better of an increase than CPI, for instance. And again, I thought we might come in a little bit better than expected. So that's good. Again, people were saying yesterday, the big complaint regarding CPI was that it was still going up. It was just slower than previously or slower than expected, which is great. Again, the problem with that mindset is that I think you got to look at the big picture here. And I think regarding PPI, we're actually going down some. So now we're going down by 0.3%, minus 0.3%, which is great. It's kind of what you want to see here. Ultimately, doing that is a great sign for the market, to be honest here, in my opinion. It's just a great sign for the market. And it's ultimately something that I think is great. And it'll be ultimately something that we'll have to continue watching for the next month. Again, CPI, PPI, all that stuff drops once a month. So all that stuff drops once a month. I mean, I think it's an interesting argument for sure. Also, guys, if you haven't already, check out Chart Prime. Chart Prime is a trading view indicator service. And again, they're just incredibly useful. Look at the market dump under the 200 EMA. So the market's starting to fall under the 200 EMA here. But the reason I like Chart Prime is it's very cheap. Like Chart Prime is a trading view indicator service. Here's the SPY on Chart Prime. It's $35 a month. $35 a month. Sometimes you can get it cheaper for that too. So it's very cheap. And again, there's so many different things here that they give you. They give you reversal signals, and you can use this on any stock. You can use it in crypto, Forex, futures, stocks, the stock market, Apple, Disney, Tesla, whatever you want to use it on. You can use this. And again, it's $35 a month. One of the things they do is they show you the correlations. People always ask me, like, you can see the dollar index correlation with the SPY. You can see there's a strong negative correlation with the Dixie and the SPY right now, which is the S&P 500. You can see the altcoin correlation is there. And again, you can look at the sensitivity. You can see there's the NASDAQ strong correlation with the SPY. So it shows you correlation. It also shows you candlestick patterns. And candlestick patterns are some of my favorite momentum patterns. But they also give you reversal signals as well. And so if you look at this, and again, here's the SPY. Like this is the SPY. But if you look at this here, you can kind of see how powerful this can be. And so again, like look at when this reversal signal shows up. It shows up here. And then look at the huge bounce you get afterwards. Reversal down signal here. Nice drops for like, what is this, a 5-minute candle, 15 minutes of drops. The real edge, in my opinion, is when multiple show up together at once. And so again, you can see a bearish engulfing candle and a reversal down signal, and you get drops over like a 3-hour period after that. And the cool thing is that you can use these on any time frame. Like if you want a little bit shorter term version, here's another example here. Look, in pre-market this morning, they had 3 that showed up together, 3 that showed up together here. And then look at the drops you basically have had since then. And this is on a 5-minute chart. You can also use it on like an hourly chart as well. So here's a 5-minute chart. Here's a 1-hour chart. And again, so you can use these. So every candlestick represents an hour here as well. And there's just a ton of ways you can use it. And this is just a little small percentage. Look, reversal down, drop. You can keep going back here. Look at the bearish engulfing candle and look at the nice drops you get over basically the entire day. Again, reversal down signal here. Huge drops. Again, it's called Chart Prime. This is just a small piece of what they offer too. Because if you look at this, they offer a lot more stuff than this too. So like they offer, you can see chart patterns. So if I put up the market dynamics thing here and I zoom out here, it's going to show me chart patterns here. Let me see. Let me go to a 5-minute chart. And so like, look at this. Let me exit out of the Oracle for a second. And so like, look at this. You can see different lines, different patterns. It shows you major support or resistance. In the market dynamics one, I can look at oscillators. If I like oscillators, I can look at chart patterns here too. So if we go to chart patterns here, you can bring that up and look at like a long-term chart here. And it's just powerful. And again, for $35 a month, it's objectively very cheap. Like look at the long-term triangle pattern here, the long-term wedge pattern here, just very cheap for what you get. Markets tried to hold at the 200 EMA. And so again, check them out. They are a sponsor of mine. Check them out. They're called Chart Prime. Hey, what's up, brother? Thank you, Jay, my guy. Thank you, man. Yeah, if y'all want to check out Chart Prom again, they are a sponsor of mine. Here's the link. Um, yeah, so the big one's at 2:30 today. Again, that's the big one for sure, without question. Like that's the 2 o'clock one is the biggest data today release, like without question, by far the biggest release. So Jay says, "Thanks, John. I'm a sub from early 21. I can't remember my old username, but you are cautious and informative, and I miss your $5 rants. Please do one. Thank you, Jay. Uh, Nasdaq 100 short or long? I don't know, man. Yeah, I don't know. Again, the way I swing trade is actually pretty simple. Like the way I swing trade, and again, I'm green on the year trading this way for my swings, and so I'll explain it right now. Market's starting to head down a little bit, um, but the way I swing trade is very simple. The way I swing trade is I look for blue chips, like blue chip healthy companies. That's it. I don't look for penny stocks, speculative penny stocks. Those penny stocks are going to fail. I look for blue chips like Apple, Disney, Amazon, Google, Walmart, Target, whatever it is. Right? I look for blue chips. I look for blue chips that are emotionally down, whether they're from earnings, whether they are from bad news catalysts, whether they're from anything. That's what I specifically look for. I look for overreactions in the market, right? An example of this was SQ. Like SQ, which is like Snapchat's parent company, dropped pretty big after the Hindenburg short report. So SQ dropped pretty big after this report. You can see it dropped from way up here at like the 70s and 80s, all the way down to under $60 a share, right? And this was after like a Hindenburg short report came out. And when I read that report, I saw some criticisms towards them. I didn't think it was anything super crazy in terms of like negative criticisms or in terms of criticisms. And so what happened was like when we were down at the $55 level, I bought SQ up. I bought it up. And when I bought it up, dude, everybody, not everybody, we had a couple people that were just so angry at me. They made fun of me. They called me a clown. They called me a permabull. They called me all these names, right? When I bought up SQ. And sure enough, if you look at SQ, what happened over the following weeks, SQ ended up rebounding, basically filling most of that gap all the way back up. And so I made really nice percentage returns in like a week from buying up that emotional dip. Again, when everybody else is fearful, I'm greedy. When everybody else is greedy, I try to be fearful. And again, looking for blue chip healthy companies to have emotionally big moves on the downside and then buying those up. And the beautiful part about these is that like since they're blue chip companies, I can sit on them as long as I necessarily need to. Like I don't need to sell. I can bag hold these and the likelihood of them coming back to where I bought it is pretty high. Even if I have to wait a couple years. And so it's kind of this mix of like investing and swing trading is what I do. Most of the time I'm able to take profit within most of the time I'm able to take profit within a couple weeks. But sometimes I have to hold it longer. And if I do, that's okay. But generally I'll make my money back pretty fast. I did buy NVIDIA, Jeffrey. I just didn't hold it that high. I usually took profit pretty quick. Bao, I never told you to buy anything. But I mean, if you look at Disney, number one, I never told you to buy anything. But if you look at Disney right now, bro, Disney is at 94 something, almost 95, dude. So, I mean, I might have said I was buying Disney, but if I did, I would have been right, bro. Disney's up to almost $95. And again, I made money on it, dude. I made money on it. I'll take it. I take profit usually what happens is like it'll bounce back short term. And then I'll take profit into the bounce. And then I sometimes will hold on to like a little piece and let it work a little bit longer, but it varies. Yeah, I don't know. I think right now the market was already baked into lower inflationary data. And so that's why we're getting this drop. Again, I told you guys this morning, what did I tell you? I said PPI is a little bit different. And again, the reason I think it's different, the reason I think PPI will sometime have a lower than expected number and still perform good, will have a lower than expected inflationary number, but still react negatively is because I think when CPI comes out lower than expected and the market goes up, by the time PPI comes out, it's already baked into a lower inflationary reading, if that makes sense, right? So I think by the time like PPI comes out, people are already baked into the reaction that they think is going to happen. And so when it comes in lower than expected, like it did today, what happens? People start taking profit because they already rode that up in anticipation of the lower inflationary reading. That's what I think probably happens with PPI today. is that PPI came in lower than expected. It's still dropping because I think people are already baked into that reaction, I think. But again, let me know what you guys think. I might be wrong there. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I said. SQ, the parent company of Cash App. Yeah, FOMC will affect the market as well. Yeah, blue chip is just based off of market cap. It's just large cap companies. It's big companies. It's big, well-known companies. It's the easiest way to put it. Like, it's companies that everybody's heard of for the most part. You know, there's a common saying in investing and trading, and stick to what you know. And so I stick to what I know, and I trade those mostly. AI bubble gonna pop? Maybe. Yeah, I think that might be true. I think today but again, PPI number is more of a confirmation in the likelihood of a pause today. So I think now that that happens, it's very likely that the Fed is going to pause today. I think it was already very likely, but I think it's even more likely now that the Fed pauses today, as opposed to raising rates. You know what I mean? So I think it's even more likely the Fed pauses today. But we'll see. But yeah, it's pretty likely, I think. Again, SPY back up, still under the 200 EMA. NQ still bouncing up a little bit here. SPY still bouncing, dollar index still dropping here. So the dollar index has dropped here, and that makes sense. I mean, lower inflation data means worse for the dollar. But yeah. Yeah, it's a skip. But Nvidia dropping. Yeah, I mean, Nvidia's still up a lot. You know, it's not going to go up forever. And so, like, there's going to be, if we look at Nvidia here on the left, it's not going to go up forever. If you look at a 20-day chart, Nvidia is just crazy high. It's honestly, the 20-day chart's the craziest look for Nvidia. So Nvidia was at 280s 20 days ago. 20 market days ago, Nvidia was at 280s, guys. So the last month, Nvidia has gone absolutely nuts, man. It's gone from 280s all the way to 410s, 420s, everybody's favorite number, way high up there. Again, we got the yearly chart for Nvidia is even more bizarre, dude. This thing was at $100 basically in October. So this thing is up hundreds and hundreds of percent. Crazy. Yeah, Aaron, I'm going to put you in timeout. You just seem like a troll. Like you're just here to try to make fun and start drama. Again, what's the purpose of living life like that? You know, like, do you not have much else to do than just try to start drama in the YouTube comment section? If you don't, like I said, find something else to do. You're gonna waste your life away trying to troll people, man. Isn't lower PPI a sign of no? Lower PPI means lower inflation, which is good, not bad. Yeah, I just put them in timeout. We'll ban them if they keep it up. Yeah. Doesn't the market go up forever long term? Well, long term, the market goes up generally. Short term, you never know. Again, here's Nvidia on the left. Nvidia's dipping down, so it's probably influencing the SPY. But Nvidia's just up so much that it's just hard to tell. Yeah. When people act like kids, you got to put them in timeout, bro. The question is, with the market most likely, with recession probably going down even more, let's look at the rate hike probabilities now. So 93%, 93%. So again, the probability of a rate hike is under 7% today, under 7%. Likelihood of a rate hike for today is below 7%. Let me know what you guys think it's going to be here. So now that we got this poll done, and thank you all for the love, man. I appreciate all the donations and the support. We're going to end this poll. Will PPI come in higher or lower than expected? So that's done. Now we're going to pivot over to the rate hike potential. Does the FOMC meeting... All right, here's an easier one. You bullish or bearish? Today's FOMC meeting and decision. FOMC decision and meeting. Bull or bear? Vote on the poll. Got that poll live right now. Are you bull or bear on the meeting? Bull here. I think it'll be a big move today if they pause. I think a pause is super likely, so it might not cause as big of a move as you might think. Yeah, I mean, there's still definitely a chance. I mean, it's under 10% of a chance, but it's still definitely there. I mean, it could happen. I think it would be a bad move if they did, but, you know, you never know. All right, guys, market's trying here. Market's trying. They'll pause and call it a skip and say they may raise it at the next meeting. Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, I saw Jim Cramer, man. At first, I thought, I saw Jim Cramer say that he was expecting a hawkish pause. At first, I thought he was confused because hawkish means raise rates, right? Like what a hawk is that means they're pushing for a reducing. They're pushing for a reduction in monetary policy. They're basically pushing for rate hikes. They're trying to flatten the market, if that makes sense. They're trying to flatten the economy a little bit, so stop spending. That's hawkish, right? Dovish means they're pushing for an expanding monetary policy, right? So they're expanding and they're trying to allow the markets to thrive and do all that stuff. So when he said a hawkish pause, you know, it contradicts itself. Hawkish means rate hikes. Pause means dovish, right? But I think what Cramer was trying to say was that he thinks that we're pushing for a pause, but that it's not as dovish as you might think because we might raise rates to the next rate hike decision. I think is ultimately his point there. But yeah. Adam, you're late, bro. PPI already came out and it came in lower than expected. So you're wrong and late, by the way. Numbers came out about 23 minutes ago. Right, exactly. I agree with you, BG. I think Jerome is going to pause but give a vigilant tone that the work isn't done, that inflation's still a problem, that we're not out of the woods yet, you know, blah, 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 blah. I think that's, I agree with you there. I think that's what he's going to do. Yeah, the duck song, the goat, the duck song. And yeah, guys, again, we'll see what happens today. I'm ready. I guess market's starting to dip here. We're gonna get ready to day trade here, but market's still pretty flat, pretty sideways in terms of market reactions here. Who won, the National or the Astros? Looks like the Astros won. It's gonna be hard to compete with the Rangers this year, though. Yeah, it's gonna be hard. I mean, I guess we're pretty close to the Rangers, but man, the Rangers are 41-25, dude. We're 38-29, so we are about 3 games behind the Rangers here. But man, the Rangers are good, dude. Yeah, so the market is basically just settled on the idea that the Fed will pause today. Rangers don't suck. Rangers are at the top of the division. All right, thank you, David. Could we see a big run-up squeezing out some bears on the news trying to get in on short on overextension? I don't know. I think we got the previous closing price down here for the SPY. I think that's a level that I'm specifically watching. The dollar index is still dropping down some too, signaling, maybe some upward momentum potential here if the dollar keeps dropping. But sometimes, like, the correlation is not always exact. PPI came in good. But again, I think the market was already baked into the good PPI numbers. And so the market's dropping down a little bit, but it's not a huge drop. But PPI did come in positive, or lower than expected, which is good, which is optimistic for inflation. Do you know why PPI showing good sign made the market go down? Well, yeah, it's pretty simple. So CPI came out yesterday and it came in better than expected or neutral. And so when that happened, I think people started to front load into what they thought would be a good reaction for PPI. And so I think CPI came out. People understand the correlation between CPI and PPI. And so by CPI coming out, people understood, okay, well, CPI is out. PPI will probably show something similar. And so they got baked into the potential reaction for PPI already. So since CPI was lower or neutral, they assumed PPI was going to be lower or neutral, which it was. And that caused the market to gap up overnight. But now that the report is out and it came out as expected, people are just kind of taking profits. And so we get a slight downward reaction to this. But, again, the market's still up relative to where it was yesterday, I guess is the point. Yeah, I mean, they bought DeGrom. So Jacob DeGrom is over there. And so I hope they win. I might go to one of their games this year. I don't know when. What's AMC doing, man? AMC stock is trending. AMC's back up to over 5s. That's good and all. Dollar index just cracked lows here. This could be a better looking sign for bullish traders. Elon tweeting again. If you go back 5 years, traders, and tell yourself something to help itself, what would you tell yourself 5 years in the past? Again, NVIDIA at 408. Again, we'll see. Apple trying to test that previous closing price. Very flat right now, though. I don't know what to do here. We still got 30 minutes before we can trade. Very flat right now, though. I never understood the baked in market concept. It seems like a justification one uses when they call the market wrong. I mean, no offense, man, but you probably don't understand the market then if you don't understand how things get baked in. Buy the rumor, sell the news is an actual thing. Like it's something that obviously happens. And again, okay, earnings, for example, right? Like a lot of the time, a company will have great earnings and drop. Why do you think that is, right? So sometimes they'll have good guidance, good earnings, good revenue, good EPS, and they'll still drop. Why do you think that is? Most of the time it's because those numbers were already expected and so the market went up, especially with stuff like CPI and PPI. There's an obvious correlation, right? So when CPI comes out one specific way, you're trying to tell me that you don't think traders are going to get baked in to the same potential reaction? Again, if you're thinking that I called the market wrong, we said 0.3% negative was going to be our guess. And so we literally called the exact number. Right. We called the exact number. I told you guys I didn't know how the market was going to react. But the point is that getting baked in is obviously a thing. If it wasn't, 0.3% would make the market fly up. And so if 0.3% better than expected inflationary data doesn't make the market go up, why do you think that is? Again, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But like if I guess the point is that anybody that pays attention to the market for a large period of time is going to understand that people front load into potential reactions, that different expectations are baked into the market. Not really arguable. But again, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Yeah. My daughter calls you James because I did once. We listen to you every morning. Top 3 James names in the world right now for sure. Don't start trading penny stocks, 100%. Stay away from options. Yeah, I feel you. I tell myself to cut losses early. I'd probably tell myself to scale down my size. When I get it wrong and I want an excuse, I say it's manipulated, not baked in, maybe. And I don't mean to come out at your boy Hard or whoever it was that said that. But again, like I guess, I've been trading the market every day for years, and I'm sure they're going to come out and be like, "Oh, I've traded the market every day for 30 years." It's like maybe, but I guess the point is like there's obviously front loading going on in the market. Anybody that follows the market regularly understands that. You know, they understand like people are front loading into specific expectations. That's not arguable at all. That obviously happens. Again, buy the rumor, sell the news is a very common saying, and the reason it's common is because it happens. And so the reason it's hard to predict earnings is because people get front loaded into those potential earnings reactions. And so a company can have great earnings, great revenue, great guidance, and still drop, most likely because they pushed up 15% the previous week in anticipation of their earnings. And the people that know the potential reactions more so than anybody else are the banks, right? Like the banks are the ones that front load the most because they understand potentials and probabilities better than anybody else, right? So the people who are really getting baked in are the banks. And retail traders are kind of just piggybacking off of them, if that makes sense. But again, it's all love. I didn't mean to come at that guy hard or whatever, but hey man, what time frame are you on? This is all 1 minute time frames because we're just looking at short-term price action. My point is the baked in concept is always said in hindsight. Well, I mean, I guess the point though, like, okay, here's an example. Prior to the PPI report, again, this morning people said, hey, what do you think PPI is going to show up as? And I told him, I said, I think it's going to come in at 0.3% negative. And that's exactly what it showed up as, 0.3% negative. How do you think I knew that? Right? I mean, number one, I got lucky. Okay, I'll admit that I got lucky. But the reason I guessed that is because CPI showed similar numbers yesterday. Right. And this kind of thought process is not exclusive to me. This type of thought process is not exclusive. A lot of people are having that same mindset of like, hey, CPI showed X PPI might show X. And so they are getting baked in to that potential reaction. That's why we get a negative reaction to this, is because people had the same thought process there, in my opinion, at least. But again, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Do you like Neo? I don't know enough about Neo to really say whether it's good or not. I tell myself to just trade options only. Yeah. I'd probably tell myself to scale down in size. And that's it. AMD finally dipping down a little bit. Again, dollar index starting to bounce up. That looks weak for markets. Yeah. Yeah, definitely top 3 predicted PPI ever in the world right now. Hey, what's up, Emmanuel? What's up, dude? Hey, what's up, Emma? Good morning. I would figure out for big money how the bots and algos invest. You should spend 5 minutes researching EV and Neo. Yeah, I mean, I feel you, but the reality of why I don't invest in Neo is simple. It's an overseas stock. I don't trust overseas stocks. I think the government there is a little bit too volatile in terms of publicly listed stocks. And so because of that, I avoid them. It's one of the reasons I haven't really bought BABA, is because I think there's too much risk there with the government. And Neo is certainly included in that. Is Neo better than Tesla? No. Obviously not. I mean, Tesla just production numbers are way higher. Yeah, all good, Chris. No worries, man. All right, we are going to get ready to trade some futures today, guys. Trade some futures. Here's the regular E-mini. Let me make sure I got this up right. There we go. All right, guys, we are going to get ready to trade futures today. Remember, we do have the FOMC meeting today as well, so I am ready for that too. We'll see if we, again, we will stream the entire thing. Hit the subscribe button, guys. Let me see what my... Again, guys, we only need about 120 subs. We're certainly going to hit it today. In terms of subscribers, we're definitely going to hit 109,000 today. I'd love, guys, I'd absolutely love to hit 110,000 subs today, which is possible with the rate hike decision too. It's going to be really close if we could actually get to 109,000 this morning on this morning stream. So again, if you haven't already subscribed, what I do here is just offer a free trading community where we don't sell a course, we don't sell a service, we don't claim to be experts, we don't act like gurus. I tell people I don't know more than anything else because I truly don't know. I always preface everything with I don't know. And we're just trying to look out for traders and give people a free resource and community of traders. And we cover economic data quickly. Like the reason we get thousands of people tune in for these streams is because we cover the data fast, faster than most of the other people. So again, you can either pay $30,000 for Bloomberg Terminal, or you can subscribe to Beginner Trading. And I think that's an easy choice. Hit the sub button, guys. Do it now. Everybody's doing it. Try it one time. See how it feels. Now that I'm done selling out. Cheers to you guys. Let's make some money today. Futures trading is one of the hardest trade out there. Well, I mean, that's very limited mindset. I think the futures market is just trading SPY or the S&P or the NASDAQ or the Dow or currencies. It's broad market. It's not like it's one symbol in the futures. You could trade anything. Basically, you could trade the SPY. You can't trade stocks, individual stocks, but you could trade the SPY, the NASDAQ, currencies, gold, silver. And so how risky your trading is going to be relative to what symbols you're trading. And you can have lesser risk symbols like the micro NASDAQ, the micro E-mini, where each tick is $1.25 or whatever. or you can have really volatile symbols like the regular NASDAQ E-mini, which is $10 a tick and just moves really, really quickly. Aside from that, it's very similar to day trading stocks. You can buy market, buy bid, sell the ask, but there's no PDT rule, and funded account programs are allowed like TopStep. TopStep gives you a demo. They test your skill. If you can hit their targets and pass their testing, and regardless of whether you get funded, I think most people are going to fail these challenges. Regardless of whether you pass it or not, it builds your skill and it teaches you how to trade. It teaches you how to follow rules. There's free funding coaches. You get to keep up to $10,000 of your first withdrawal. And so once you pass the combine, you get to keep up to $10K of your first withdrawal as well. So there's just a lot of benefits of doing it. And it truly is like a great resource to build your skill in trading. And if you're good enough to pass it, you get 90% of your profit. So if you pass it, you get 90% of your profit, and it's cheap. It's like 130 something if you use my link. And so again, if you want to check them out, here is the link for that. Great way to help support the channel. Again, they are a sponsor, so I'm definitely biased, but check them out. So if you subscribe to the channel, which I think you already are if you're chatting, again, we will cover it very quickly once it happens. All right, nice, Justin. Yeah, it's a great way to learn, to be honest. TopStep's a great way to learn. I never can tell when JP hikes rates or doesn't hike rates. So again, I'll show you guys how to tell, right? If you guys wanted to look how to tell what he's going to do here, let me show you guys. All right, so here's the FOMC calendar. All right, so here's the calendar, okay? So if we look at this, right? So if we look at the FOMC calendar, here's May's reading, right? So if you look at HTML, May we raised rates by 25 basis points. And so today's will show up right here. And so here is May's reading, right? So this is the minutes report, so don't look at this. That's not going to drop for another couple weeks. But if you look at this, this is where the June's is going to be right here where it says HTML. Look at my heart. But no. So again, if you click on it, they raised rates by 25 basis points last month in May. So they raised rates by 25 basis points. So you can kind of see to 5 to 5 and 25 or 5.25, right? So they raised it by 5 1/4, 5.25. That was a 50 basis point rate hike. So today's, right? So when you read today's, if today says the same thing, right? So if today says 5 to 5.25, that means a pause. That means a skip. That means no rate hike. If it says from 5.25 to 5.5 or 5 in 1/2, then that is going to be a 25 basis point rate hike. And so if it says this, it's going to be a pause. And again, that will be right here at 2 p.m. It'll be right there under June. All right, and that's how you read it. That's how you read the report. You can also download the PDF file, but at 2 p.m. on the dot, that's going to come out right there. And again, we'll interpret it. We'll cover it when it comes out. And so it's probably going to be faster to just subscribe to my channel, and we'll give you that data. Do you think a pause is already priced in? Oh yeah, for sure, Amir. A pause is definitely priced in. It's over 90% expected. And so anytime that happens, it's definitely baked into the market already. That's probably why the market's been moving up. It's been expected. They've been expecting a pause for weeks now. And so in that regard, it's already baked in to a certain extent. And that's kind of why the market has been pumping up, as well as expectations of low inflationary data. So like if we look at the SPY here, this is the E-mini, but this is basically the SPY. If we look at like a 15 1-month chart and we zoom out here, the market's been very strong over the last month. Why? It's because everybody expects, like, look, here's the last month of trading in the S&P or the SPY. This is the SPY. You can trade the SPY in futures in what's called the E-mini. But the market has moved up dramatically over the last month, right? So it's moved up a lot over the last month. And it's mostly moved up because people are now expecting two things. People are expecting two things that are happening this week. Number one is they are expecting lower inflationary data. Right? That's number one, right? Because inflation has been dropping every month now, basically. So that's number one. They're expecting lower inflationary data. Number two is they're expecting a pause decision today at 2 p.m. That is causing people to be more optimistic. Again, generally speaking, raising rates will cause short-term pain in markets. A pause will cause short-term optimism in markets. But again, I think that's baked in already to a certain extent. And so I wouldn't just kind of wait for the decision to come out. If you see a pause, just buy. I wouldn't do that necessarily. I don't know what you should do. Again, I have no idea. But that's kind of how you have to look at it. So it's already paused in. It's already baked into a little bit. All good, you. Thanks, man. Yeah, they do free coaching. Chris, free coaching. So there's a lot of uses. Yeah, I mean, John, I'm not really too political. I try with $200 to $300 a day with day trading. I mean, that's fine if you want to make $200 to $300 a day. You're gonna need a large account to be safe doing that. But good luck, man. I hope you do it. All right, guys. So again, we are going to get ready to trade today. Here's the regular E-mini. Gap it up a little bit today, but a little pullback so far. SPY sideways. NVIDIA dollar index still dropping here. Hey, thank you, Hustle, my guy, man. He said, hey, dude, I respect your viewpoints. You're solid as they come. Nice and to the point. Work with your opinions. Hey, thank you, brother. I appreciate it, man. We try, dude. We try, man. Again, like what I really wanted to create here when I started beginner trading is like I wanted a place where people could just get unbiased information. Now, I'm biased, of course. Everybody's biased to a certain extent, but I genuinely try to stay neutral in terms of reactions, in terms of predictions. There's specific stocks I like and dislike, but in terms of stuff like this, I always try to tell people like the probabilities. Right today, highly probable we're gonna pause. Highly probable we're gonna pause. Again, like I said, last FOMC meeting, a bunch of people were like, "Nah, we're gonna pause. We're gonna pause." We didn't. I told people we're gonna raise rates. We're gonna do 25 basis point rate hike. A lot of people were like, "Nah, we're gonna pause," and they were getting really bullish and optimistic. And then, boom, we did 25 basis point rate hike, as I said we would. Today it's the opposite. Today it's very likely that we're gonna pause or skip this. Again, rate hike decisions. The process of these things. Every 6 weeks they do this, right? If inflation's really bad and out of control and going up dramatically, then they raise rates aggressively. If inflation is getting better, they're more likely to pause or skip or not raise rates, right? The reason they raise rates is to by raising the federal funds rate. The reason that is used to curb inflation is because they raise that. When they raise the federal funds rate, it makes it more expensive for banks, right? Banks' margins are hurt by that, which is why like a lot of the regional banks that failed months ago blame their failures on the rate hikes, if that makes sense, right? But by raising the federal funds rate, it makes it more expensive for banks. When banks lose margin and profit, what do, right? They raise interest rates. They make interest rates go up, and that causes it to be more expensive for people to get loans. Their mortgages go up, all that different stuff, right? And so what happens when consumers have worse margins in their everyday life? They stop spending as much, right? When consumers don't have as much money to spend, right? And that in turn makes inflation go down, because when consumers stop spending, businesses lower pricing, right? That is the complete cycle of the rate hike decision down to curbing inflation. That's the theory of it, right? And arguable whether it works or not, but that's a different story. But that's why they raise rates. And that's why they raise rates if inflation is bad, because it causes all those things to happen. That is the point, right? But what we've seen over the last 6 to 8 months, we've seen inflation get better every month. Every month, inflation has gotten better and better and better. And so the Fed has been less aggressive in their overall insights and in their overall outlook, is what I meant to say, regarding inflation and rate hikes. And so now they're expecting a pause or a skip. They say it might just be for 1 6-week cycle. And again, this happens every 6 weeks. But we'll see what they do the next Fed meeting. Again, and then weeks after this, so weeks after the FOMC meeting, we have what's called the Fed Minutes Report. PDF file that drops at 2 p.m. That's going to happen in a couple weeks, like 3 weeks. I think it's like 2.5 to 3 weeks from now. But that's the cycle. And again, that happens every 6 weeks. CPI, PPI drop once a month. And then tomorrow, we have jobless claims and retail sales data. So tomorrow, we have economic data as well, and jobless claims and retail sales data. All relevant for inflation. Retail sales obviously is relevant because it's sales prices. Jobless claims is kind of like a less hyped version of unemployment, if that makes sense. Hey, what's up, Sim? Hey, all good, dude. So is it baked in? If it's baked in, are we still going to be flat? I don't know what we're going to be for the actual decision. I don't think I don't know. You never know. Like, this is something where it's really unknown how the market's going to respond to a pause, which is what's overwhelmingly expected. Now, if we raise rates, that's a little bit more predictable of a reaction because that's really polarized because it's just super less likely. And so if we surprise people and raise rates, which I think would be a bad move, the market's going to tank. The market's going to tank if we do that, almost certainly. Now, again, nothing's 100%. We don't know for sure, but it's pretty likely if we do raise rates that the market's going to fall. But again, raising rates as a whole is unlikely. I don't know. For me as a channel, I like it all being on separate days. Because if it's all on separate days, we got something to talk about every day. We got big news happening every day that we can cover. So I like it when it happens on different days. But days like today is all right. Like, it's all right if it's today. Like, I'm okay with them being same day. I can get it all done. But yeah. All right, guys, 10 minutes here. 10 minutes until the opening bell, guys. Let's see if we can make some money today. We will try. I'm ready for earnings season too. When is the earnings season? Let me check. I think earnings season is not going to be until later July. Let me see what we got going on next week here. So all the big stuff's kind of happening this week, which I'm all right with. But this week we got retail sales, jobless claims. Next week, Monday slow. Tuesday we got building permits and housing starts. Wednesday we don't have nothing. Thursday we got the Bank of England. We got jobless claims, existing home sales. Friday we got manufacturing and services PMI. So Friday we got some stuff. Thursday we got jobless claims and stuff. The rest of the week's pretty slow next week. And then let's see what we get on the week after that. The last week of June. CB consumer confidence. GDP data next week. Okay, so we got some stuff coming out the next week. All right, we got PCE. All right, so next week's a little slow. The week after that, we got stuff again. But again, tomorrow we got retail sales and jobless claims coming out too, so that'll be fun. All right, guys, market's consolidating a little bit now too. Market's very flat though, so y'all just be careful. Again, I'm gonna wait until the open. Until I really start to take some big trades. All right, guys, 7 minutes until the market opens. How many hours is it? Until the rate hike decision, it is going to be the rate hike decision is at 2 p.m. And again, we'll stream it. It's probably going to be a separate stream, but we'll stream it. Again, hit the sub button, guys. We need less than 100 subs to break 109K. We'll get close to a 110,000 today. Here's my guess. We'll get close to 110K. Get ready to day trade. How do people make money off rejections? I haven't looked into it, but it doesn't make sense to me. Rejections of what? When is 2 p.m.? Google 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to whatever time you're in right now. Yeah, exactly, Chris. FOMC is in about 4.5 hours. Yeah. Yeah, Google is your friend, sir. PPI is already out. From all the data I've gathered, the New York Open is always slow. Yeah, I mean, there's apprehension ahead of big decisions. And so, for instance, like traders are less enticed to take big positions ahead of these big releases because, like for instance, I'm not gonna okay, traders are less likely to buy Apple like with thousands of shares right now. Why? Is because when these decisions are announced, despite technicals or anything else, they're going to influence those things heavily. And so if numbers come in bad, Apple could tank despite the best technical pattern in the world, because again, fundamentals always trump technicals. And so you could have the best technical pattern ever. If CPI comes in bad, the market's going to drop most likely. You know, you could have the best technical pattern in the world right now. If the Fed raises rates, you could have the best long technical pattern ever. If the Fed surprises people and raises rates today, the market's almost certainly going to fall despite the technical patterns. And so fundamentals are always causing fundamentals. If they both happen at the same time, fundamentals trump technicals by far, without question. Again, market started to bounce a little bit, but we've been pretty flat here leading up to the opening bell. So we'll see. But remember, there's apprehension on big market release days. And so we might get sideways chop today, but I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be bullish or bearish. I think we're going to pause today, whatever that means. What's really going to matter most is what Big Papa, Jerome Powell, says when he does his speech at 2:30. And you know, the Q&A matters as well there. So that's going to matter more than anything else, is what Big Papa, JP, says during all of it. And again, we'll see. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, generally volume dries up in the summer. Like there's just less interest in the stock market. People are on vacation. They're not really worried about trading. So the slowest months of the market are, June, July, and August are the slowest months. September might be slow too, but market usually starts to heat up a little bit in October. October, November, December, January are usually the best months of market activity. But it varies, you know, in the individual year you're in. Here's a question. A man steals a $100 bill from a store's register. And then he buys $70 worth of goods at that store using the $100 bill and gets $30 in change. How much did the store lose? $100. We got 2 minutes, guys. 2 minutes. Yeah, all good. Yeah, my shorts guy's doing finals right now, so I'll post to TT and some other stuff too, but I've decided to only trade on red days. Hey, good luck, dude. All right, guys, we got about a minute and a half left until market opens. We'll see if we get something good, but about a minute and a half, team. NVIDIA trying to move back up. All right, guys, about a minute and 10 seconds. Apple back over the previous closing price, so Apple technically green on the day. NVIDIA about to open up now. Hey, good luck, Ace, Biggie, Pawn, Grom, Shepard. Yeah, but he paid for the profit. He paid for the food. Yeah, the 70 went back to the store, so they didn't lose it. He lost $100. They lost $100, guys. So somebody steals $100, buys food, they lose $100. You know, the exchange would make them even there because they got the money back, but they would lose $100. Anyways, here's the opening bell. 20 seconds, guys. 20 seconds. All right, very flat. Nvidia popping up pretty big ahead of the opening bell. Look at Nvidia surge here. Here's the opening bell right here, guys. Good luck. All right, guys. Yeah, these questions are actually designed to create engagement. So like there's so many different variables that aren't answered, and that's the point, is that everybody's gonna have a different answer and argue with each other, thus creating engagement in the comment section. That's what those things are argued to do. But again, the transaction was even, you know, because they gave them change, they bought something, gave them change, right? But they still lost $100. Like that's the answer. I'm pretty sure is $100. All right, so market's fallen down a little bit at the opening bell. We're down to 436.80s. So UNH, Anthony, they found out that seniors were getting non-urgent surgeries at a higher rate, thus hurting insurance companies' margins because they're going to have to pay for those surgeries. And so they said that at a healthcare conference that they were getting more surgeries, that the older generation were getting more surgeries, and that would be bad for insurance carriers, and it made UNH drop big percentages. That's what happened. All right, so we're dropping down a little bit on the E-mini here under the previous closing price. Again, we'll give it time though, bouncing back up a little bit now. Again, no trades for me yet. We're just kind of sitting here waiting. I think the way you have to look at it, guys, is that somebody stole $100 from them. They might have bought some stuff and gotten change and all that stuff, but none of that matters because that transaction is break even, you know? And so you can take that whole transaction out of it because they're getting change, they're paying for a product, they're getting change back. Yeah, but so the company, they lost $100. $100 worth, you know, so it would be like $70 worth of groceries and $30 in change. So they lost $100. Nvidia at 405. This doesn't look like a bad short. Man, I was a little bit late. I was like, hey, this doesn't look like a bad short. Boom, huge drop. Not a huge drop, but a drop nonetheless. I would have made money on. Should have shorted it. Again, I'm gonna let it settle down a little bit. Find some range here, I think. Big flush down here, guys. Big flush. Starting to bounce back up over the previous close. I'm going to switch to the micro E-mini here. I don't trust this. I'm worried about choppy action ahead of this. So I want to get a smaller position here before I take some trades because I just don't trust this here. Yeah, but Dander, you're missing out. But they did receive $70 back for the products they bought. Thus, they would have lost $70 in groceries and $30 in cash, making it $100 they lost. But again, this is a question that is designed to just get engagement. All right, so there's a bounce back here. So we got a little bit of a red to green move. But again, I'm watching for chop. I'm watching for rejection at the top of the range because of choppy potential here with FOMC meeting today. The market might be a little sideways. And so I'm looking for rejection at the top. And there we go. We got a little bit of one. And again, I'm just kind of sitting tight right now. Yeah, this is an old playlist. It's just kind of going through the songs that I liked in it. Y'all don't have to like the music. Y'all will be all right. That song is done now anyway. So we did get a rejection at the top of the range. I'm on the E-mini right now, which is basically like a version of the SPY. Yeah, again, they're designed to be ambiguous so that you don't really know what the true answer is, and they just want to farm engagement is what they usually do. This was on Twitter, and so they're just trying to farm engagement, getting people to comment a lot with different answers and argue with each other. And I guess y'all are doing it in my chat now, so hey, might ask more questions like this. All right, so yeah, look, we rejected right at the top of the range. I told you guys that's what I thought might happen here, and that's what we got. And so I'm just kind of sitting tight right now. We rejected right at the VWAP, right at the top of the range, and now we're just kind of sitting quietly. Again, I don't trust this because, again, the market movement might be a little apprehensive for big positions, so choppy. Yeah, I think ranges might be the market, Depends on if we break lows and break under this range. Now, we're still in the opening 5-minute range right now. So, I think that's going to influence like opening range breakouts, orbs, and stuff with algorithms. And so, again, we're still in that range. I'm going to look for us to break out of the range before I take any position here today. Hey, thank you, Daniel. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, Chris, for sure, man. Hey, more questions like that coming soon. Does anybody know what these kind of questions are called? It's definitely not so I can Google this and have people engage with my content much more. It's definitely not because of that. But does anybody know what these questions are called? Somebody help your boy out. So you're waiting for what exactly? I'm waiting for a break of the opening range here. If you want to look at the opening range. That's it. I'm waiting for a break of that before I take any positions here. Brain teasers. Thank you, Joe. My guy. Thank you, man. Mind twisters. Logic riddles. All right, yeah, we're still in that opening range here, team, and I'm just kind of sitting tight. I am trading futures right here. So the futures market, again, the futures market, let's see, let's go ahead and do this. So the futures market was originally created because farmers would grow crops, right? And by the time it came to yield those crops, the prices had fluctuated so much to where their margins sucked, basically, right? And so farmers started selling contracts ahead of time, locking in the price of their crops so that they didn't get hit with this, so they could grow crops comfortably without worry. And they would sell them to speculators who would speculate on the future price of commodities or crops, basically, right? And they called this futures because you're speculating on the future price of something. But at this point in time, a long time later, futures market has evolved to the point where you can trade the S&P 500 futures contract, and there's no PDT rule. So, if you try to trade the SPY in stocks, you can only day trade 3 times a week with a margin account of less than 25K, that is. But the futures market has none of that red tape. And so I can day trade the S&P 500 right here in what's called the E-mini. I can day trade the NASDAQ. I can day trade currencies. I can day trade commodities. I can day trade gold and silver and a lot of other stuff, to be honest, with no PDT rule, no red tape. And again, if you want to get started, check out Top Step. It's a funded program. It's a sponsor of mine. But it's a funded program for futures in which, you know, they give you a demo, they test your skill. It's a challenge. There's great resources. They have funding, coaches, all that stuff. And if you pass it, they fund you between 50K up to 150K with a 90% split as a proprietary trader. If you don't pass it, you probably would have lost more anyway, to be honest. And so it's a good way to get started, learn how to trade. You know, if you're good enough, you can pass it. If you're not good enough, you know, you have less risk than you would be putting up thousands yourself. All right, still in the opening range here, guys. Still in the opening range. Yeah, if you want to check it out, link is in the description. I'm going to delete this. You can find the link in the description. Well, when people ask me about it, I answer, Joseph. So, I mean, you know. We don't do that many plugs. I might do 4 or 5 plugs a day in a 4-hour stream. And so that's like 1 plug every hour, a little bit less than that maybe. And I think that's very reasonable. I think if you look at like the radio's free, just like we are. What they do a commercial about every 30 minutes. And so we're a little bit better than that, I think. The other thing is like we don't really plug anything for the first few hours. SPY started to break over those highs. So SPY started to break up on the upside. Micro E-mini starting to test the highs here. So we've consolidated. We're testing the top of that range. And look at the rejection right there at the same range we drew. I don't think averaging a plug every hour is necessarily heavy plugs. But hey, it's all good. Let's go Nvidia. Yeah, is Nvidia bouncing back? It's probably what's dragging the market back, right? Again, Nvidia surging up at 411s right now, guys. Nvidia about to break highs again, guys. Let's see if it does. You know, I had that SOXS short in Nvidia that I thought I made money on, but I might not have. But I ended up cutting it like either yesterday or the day before. It looks like it was a good move too because Nvidia flew, dragging the market back up here. The question is, does Nvidia continue? Is the real question here. I'm going to buy a couple contracts of this. It's still rejected. Look at reject right at the top of the range, right at that opening range we drew. So I'm going to take 2 contracts here. Try to be patient and give it time, but yeah, 1 plug an hour is reasonable, I think. People still hate on it because, again, some people are just mad if other people make money. You know what I mean? Usually means they're struggling, but I don't think it's unreasonable. Meta, take it off. Again, we bought 2 contracts of the regular micro here. All right, so we're now green. I'm going to go and take profit off since we're at the top of the range. The only worry is that we might reject at the top here, and I don't know. SPY pulled back to the volume weighted average price. Seems to be holding some. Nvidia is the other question mark here on whether it continues. Nvidia running off AMD conference. I think that with some other stuff too, but probably at least getting some benefit from that. All right, so we just broke the opening range here. And again, we drew this line, and that line is held really nicely. So you can kind of see why I watched the opening range. People were asking me why I didn't trade. It's because we need a break in the opening range first. I'm going to go ahead and cut this, get a little small gain in there. But this is why. Oh my God, Joseph, you're just a hater, dude. All right, good day to you, sir. Good day to you, Joseph. Again, is a 1 plug an hour like really that excessive? I don't think so. You know, I mean, listen, if we got a community of hundreds of thousands and we get hundreds and thousands of people that tune into our streams, of course we're gonna have sponsors, man. Y'all would too if y'all were me. Hey baby, look at my dog right here. Really? You want to see Rosie, my dog? Here, check out Rosie here. Come here. Up. Yeah, good girl. Look at Rosie. The sweetest girl ever. Hey, baby. That's just a good girl. You just a good girl. Huh? Yeah, you just a good girl. All right. All right, baby.
All right, come on. This way. This way. Yeah, Bruce has something with his ear that's bothering him, and it's kind of like crusty.
Really?
Yeah.
He might have an ear infection. You still got those eardrops?
Well, I just gave him some, but he might need to go into a vet. I think he might need to go see the vet if he doesn't.
All right. Yeah, good day to you, sir. Yeah, one plug an hour is very reasonable. Yeah, I don't have Bloomberg Terminal. Oh, you did miss it, Pawn. It's all good. I guess the point is, like, if you join somebody's stream and immediately criticize them for plugging a sponsor, like, you're just being a hater, man. Like, again, generally the people that are hating on sponsors are people who are not making money, and so when they see somebody else making money, they get weird about it. Again, that's pretty obvious. I think that's a self-evident thing. They can deny it. That's all good. Market's breaking highs right now, too. Market's starting to rip. So we got that U-shaped breakout pattern. I think U-shaped breakout patterns are powerful, too. Hey, my guy. Thank you, YG. I appreciate it. But you get the U-shaped breakout pattern here. Now the question is, do we do a cup and handle? So you get a little pullback here. We'll see if we bounce back up. Again, we'll see. But I think yeah, Chris, I think Bloomberg Terminal can be reasonable of a buy, but it depends on your situation, of course. Like, I think for the average consumer, no, it's not going to be justifiable. But I think if you're like a big hedge fund playing with big money, playing with tons of money, I think that might be a little bit more reasonable for it. You know, if you're a big hedge fund playing with like millions or billions, you know, spending $30K a year on something that gives you data quickly, I think that could be justifiable. Especially you got to consider as a business owner, right? So like one perspective you might not be thinking of is like, as a business owner, you could pay $30K to the government, or you could pay $30K to Bloomberg and get fast market data. Again, I'm not saying I'm gonna do it, but I understand it, you know. But it's all good, man. Either way. Yeah, we got about 4 hours. 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when the numbers drop. Again, so we got a nice little rip back up. We broke the opening range that we talked about, and again, we had a really nice confirmation in that range. Now we're going to see if we pull back to it. But the market looks strong today, so maybe a little bit of a lagged reaction from PPI. Right, I mean, y'all can just subscribe to me, and we're going to give you the data quickly. Yeah, exactly. All right, so we got a little dip here. Again, I'm apprehensive because is coin moving back up? BG? Let me see. All right, so coin is moving back up a little bit. It's not up a ton though. It's still at 53s, but yeah, it's interesting to watch. It had a little bit of a green day. It could be just from an overreaction. Again, so we're going to look for a pullback dip here. How much money do you make in a day average trading? I mean, it varies, man. It fluctuates. My TOS account's got about 50K in it. So it depends, man. Trading than I am day trading. Like, by far, I'm green on the year in TOS. But most of that comes from my swing trades, to be honest. I'm just better at swing trading. We have a course that you can go. It's a free course. So you can go watch it for free on our YouTube channel. It's in a playlist. We got some VWAP courses that are pretty solid too, if you want to check those out. But just remember, you don't need to pay for that stuff. You can get it all for free, bro. Can you write it off? I'm assuming you can as a business tool. You know, I'm assuming, but it would only be for specific businesses, I would assume. Yeah, all good, dude. No swing trading ones. Honestly, I wasn't even trying to swing trade at first, but I started swing trading and I developed a strategy, and then that strategy started performing well. And so I haven't created a course. Like, y'all have to understand me. I freaking hate editing videos, dude. I freaking hate editing. And so I'd produce more video content if I didn't have to edit it. Maybe it's time I buy an editor, but I freaking hate editing. Hey, all good, D. No worries, man. I don't mind me, Kevin. You know, again, as a real estate agent myself, me, Kevin, was a real estate agent, and I used to watch him when he used to go door to door as an agent, you know. So I've been watching him since before he even delved into the stock market. Yeah, for sure. NVIDIA is ripping up. It's at almost 415s right now. I'd never traded Prad, just not my style, bro. Just never learned it. I'm mostly just US markets and futures. Markets still push it up a little bit. Again, we've had this nice little trend here. Again, I'm too worried about a pullback to take any positions yet on it. Yeah, but Chris, I mean, I think you got to understand, like, any publicity is good publicity, man. He understood that. He understood he probably wasn't going to win, and understood that just running and being a big name was going to get him publicity in that regard. So I think, you know, you got to think of it that way. Yeah, NVIDIA is starting to pop back up again. I'm glad I sold my SOXS position yesterday or the day before, because it would have been red today for sure. Yeah, me too, Derek. I sold mine yesterday. It was SOXS is what I had, and I ended up selling it because, again, I saw NVIDIA start to run, and so I didn't want to get stuck at that. All right, guys. So we're just kind of sitting back, hanging out. Got a little dip now too. I'm gonna go to add some to this here. One contract here. We'll see if we get a bounce. All right, guys. So we bought a little bit here. We got two contracts. NVIDIA's still surging up, and this is what I don't mind buying 3 or 4 contracts here of the micro, and then seeing if we get a surge up from NVIDIA's strength. We're flat now on this trade. All right, so we're slightly green on this so far. Try to be patient. There we go. Right, so we got a nice little bounce so far. We're up a little bit. It's not really that much, and so I think I can just give it time. All right, so we just sold half. Took a little bit more off there, locked it in, and now we got one contract left. I'll go ahead and get out there too, just lock in the profit. We're still down on the day from our previous opening bell trades, but all right, so we are dipping down a little bit here. I'm going to go ahead and buy some more in a second. Let me wait. All right, so we do have a nice little dip. Again, good thing I waited. Oh, crap. All right, so we got a little pullback here, a small one. NVIDIA still turning up to break highs right now. NVIDIA right at the high of the day, right at 515 or 415. Consolidation right here. I like the potential here for a bounce. I did buy one regular contract of the E-mini here, and we are up about 40 on it. And so I want to see if this holds. I want to give it a little bit more time too. If we get a large enough position, I will add to it, or I could just take 50 off, and then there's $50. I like this entry price level. But NVIDIA is rejecting the top of that level here. Up to 50 again. All right, so I got two contracts now. See if we retrace back up there. All right, so we just took half off right there. We still got one contract left. Again, I want to give this time to work. That's not good. So kind of break even on the trade now since we took profit off at 75. I want to see if NVIDIA holds here and bounces though. Oof, nasty. All right, so we're down 100 and something on the day. It might just be kind of that choppy action that we get today. I mean, that might be just what we get. Again, I don't know, but give it a little bit more time, see if we get another bounce. We are pulling into that opening range high, which might be an interesting buy level here. NVIDIA finally falling down here. We are right at the 200 EMA and the volume weighted average price. Meta's Meta's going well past 180. This is the E-mini. It's not NVIDIA stock. This is the regular E-mini. All right, so we are getting a surge back up here, and we are in the regular E-mini right now. I want to see if it actually holds. We are down right now about $70 on the day. And I'd love to give it time to actually hold this spot. starting to surge up a little bit too. Let's see if Nvidia starts to make another test here. That could drag this up now too. Look at Coinbase flying up too. All right, so we are pretty flat on the day now. We just cut that one. We are currently down about $22 here on the day, about 22 bucks. Let's see if the market rebounds. Coinbase, guys, all the way back up to 53. Is this news related? Fundamental news catalyst? Is that it? All right, so we just made a little bit more money on the regular E-mini scalp in this. You can see we're slightly green on the day. We are up about $15 right now, which is fine because at one point we were down 160. I'll take it. We caught the little pop. Again, the question is, does Nvidia start to give some back here is the real question. I don't know. All right, market consolidating here. Again, this is the FOMC day, so we might be a little slow in all this. Throughout all this stuff. Are you gonna stream SoFi meeting? No, probably not. All right, market's starting to move up. Nice. We just scalped a really nice trade on this bounce here. You can see we're in one contract left. And we just cut that one. All right, cool. So we had a nice little trade on the regular E-mini scalping this move. We bought this little red pullback here. Sorry, I got a bunch of monitors, but you can kind of see we are now up about 130 on the day. Our win-loss ratio is really solid. It's about 3.5 to 1, but our drawdown is a little high. So I don't like my drawdown today, but that's all good, man. Huge pop-up. Could have held a little bit more. AMD starting to drop. Is that dragging microchips? But NVIDIA, I mean, NVIDIA's pulling back down. So AMD is kind of following NVIDIA, I think, to a certain extent. Maybe not full, like, correlation. But yeah, I think that's kind of what's going on. We got a little dip now. NVIDIA is still dropping pretty fast. Little retracement. Let's see if we break the highs. All right, so we got a little hammer candle here. NVIDIA looks like it wants to surge back up here. Let's see if it does. Remember, the FOMC rate hike decision's at 2 p.m. today. 2 p.m. on the dot today. Really interesting dynamic here. Let's see if NVIDIA still pumps up. That's kind of the big thing here. Does NVIDIA move up some? All right, so we just got out a little bit more. So we're up about 200 on the day here. We bought that little hammer candle. And again, you can kind of see we are up about 190 or so, a little bit under 200 on the day. 4 to 1 win-loss ratio, so that's doing pretty good. But we're watching NVIDIA, which is other blue chip stocks, and we're kind of trading the S&P 500, if that makes sense. Kind of looking for big moves on specific stocks. And using that to get a little bit of lead in the S&P. So like if we see momentum on NVIDIA, see momentum on Apple, see momentum on Tesla, we think it's Tesla, Apple, NVIDIA are going to bounce, and we kind of buy the S&P and lead that a little bit. And so that's what we're doing today. Not bad. Don't worry, John, you will recover. We're green. We're green in everything right now, man. Target is absolutely flying up. I'm going to take some profit in Target now, too. Hey, you love to see it. Again, we bought Target a couple days ago. And again, people told me not to buy it. Same thing as always. We bought it back here, and Target is loving life right now, just ripping up. We're going to go ahead and take some profit here. Not a lot, but some. All right, took half off there. I'll take it. Green enough. We'll go ahead and take the rest off, a little bit more off too. There we go. So we're now out of Target too. I want to be flat ahead of the rate hike decision, to be honest here. Still in Coca-Cola. I'm going to go ahead and flatten this one too for KO. I mean, I'm up so much in it that we can just kind of take some more off here. I'll leave a tad bit for KO. But we are mostly flat on our swing trades. We've been holding swing trades for the last few months. They've been turning out really well. Gold is actually green today too. Market's starting to pop back up, test highs. Calling NVIDIA blue chip. You don't think NVIDIA is a blue chip stock? Of course it is. Yeah, all good, Chris. I get it, brother. No worries, man. What's up, Tim? NVIDIA is a $1 trillion company, right? If there was anything called a blue chip, it's NVIDIA. Yeah. All right, market's popping up a little bit, guys. And again, we will be back later on today for the rate hike decision. All right, guys, NVIDIA starting to surge up here. Look at the S&P rip. All right, guys, we will be back later on today. I'm going to go ahead and happily close down the stream today. So we will be back later on today, guys. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. I appreciate the love and support, of course. Good green day to me. I mean, we got a little bit of a cushion for us to maybe trade the FOMC later on today, guys. So we'll see how that goes. Y'all stay safe. Y'all be good. I'll be back again 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you subscribe right now, we'll cover all of this stuff live when it happens here, guys. So 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to start streaming before that, like well before that. So just be ready. Market's doing well. Again, we're going to cover everything, guys. So again, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. We appreciate the love and support. And yeah, we will be back later on this afternoon. So y'all be safe. And I'll see you guys. Again, subscribe. Be back. Good luck.